What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday show. My name's Ultra David.
And I'm
What's up,
James.
everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday show. My name's Ultra
Today
David.
I forgot to pause everything. Today I forgot to pause. It's been a while since I've forgotten to do this.
That actually is true. You're about to knock that off the table there. Let's
Yeah.
prevent that from happening. So, time number 2 in our new digs, which is infested with cats.
Yes, And of course, I don't think you said your name right, David.
Oh, that's true. That's true, actually. Do you have that pic? Can we put that up?
Do you want me to download that pic?
Yeah, please do. We'll show it later, though.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm for now Ultra David. That's James over there. We have a few topics to talk about today. Oh, I appreciate it. Appreciate the correction to the accurate name. We're going to talk about tournament results. We're going to talk about the Tekken World Tour Finals, which are this coming weekend. We'll have AceKingOffSuit on the old show to chat about that. That'll be cool.
Yes.
Make sure, of course, that you watch Best of 5 before us each week. We'll give him a chance to talk about all sorts of that stuff. We're going to have a little 5-5 matchup wherein we discuss our ideas for Street Fighter V Season 4.
Yeah, some of the stuff that we want. We're not going to get into all of it because that
Yeah.
would take us like 9 hours to go through probably.
That would take a long time.
Yeah.
And then that's it. There's a little more to talk about, but
There's I mean everything
it's a
is
light week.
It's one of those we're just at that period of time where everything is coming to the end, the championship stuff. So all the stuff that, we want to talk about, everything is, just kind of idling until all the crazy finals start up and everything. So.
Exactly. I guess we can begin with some of the tournament results.
Sure.
So I think probably the biggest thing over the weekend, as far as I'm concerned, was ArcRevo.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was the biggest thing. So
that's in Tokyo, of course. It's also nowadays a qualifier for the ArcRevo Finals, which will be in 2019. The new Pro Tour that they're doing. Mm-hmm. This is a qualifier for that. Dang, he is big.
Someone said kiss my cat on the mouth,
big fella.
so I did. So
okay, all right. Well, mission accomplished. This had BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. It had Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. It had BlazBlue Central Fiction. Did you watch any of this?
I did, actually. I watched all of Guilty Gear Top 8.
Okay.
I saw the very end of BlazBlue. I just don't know what's going on in that game, so I have no idea. And then I managed to watch losers finals and grand finals of BlazBlue Cross Tag. So yeah.
I see. Yeah. All right. Well, you saw some of the important ones. I watched all of the BB Tag Top 8 and a little bit more besides. It was great. Super fun to watch. I watched some Guilty Gear. I watched, I think, the top 3, if I recall correctly.
No, I was excited for that because
fun.
Dorn 2K got into top 8 on winner's side, the U.S. player there, although he almost got bodied by the transportation system in Japan. He got there late because, he couldn't find the right train or something like that.
Oh, that happened to me.
Yeah, that kind of stuff happened.
At Evo Japan, I was supposed to commentate this one block in the morning, and I showed up there probably an hour late because I had taken the wrong train.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I know the feeling. Anyway, as far as the results go, BB Tag was won by Goda, which was pretty cool. Gord and New. Second place was the man, the legend, Koji KOG.
That team is so good.
Walled Taker. It's clearly top tier.
Dude,
it's
you
clearly
happy birthday
top tier
and you
team.
get 10K on both characters with an easy, not
easy. That's not even a big deal.
Yeah, I know. It's just, but it's like one of those ones that will hit both characters pretty consistently.
Yeah, it does mean that you have to end up in Tager because Tager's the only one whose supers can hurt 2 characters. But yeah. Anyway, it's definitely a strong team. It's he gets around zoning. It's not the normal weakness of a grappler team. It just has all the things.
There's too many ways around zoning, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And he, as a player, although he's always frenetic on going on the way in, that's always been his play style. He has fantastic defense.
Yeah.
I feel like his display of defense in this top 8, as it typically is, I feel, was better than anybody else's. And I really think that has a big part, that has a big reason because he's been playing grapplers in these games for so long, they tend to have bad defense.
Yeah.
They tend to have poor defensive options, especially in anime air dasher style games.
Right.
And he is accustomed to that, so he just is used to blocking. He just will sit there as Tager in BlazBlue for like a long time. You just have to block. That's the character.
He's got good at that.
He's gotten good at that.
I mean, even as much though as I say that he does fine against zoners, I mean, he did lose to the new team, to the new player, right? So new was definitely a problem for him at some point in time.
I'm not sure. I think it's like a bad matchup. It's like maybe a slight loss. It's just not that big of a deal.
It's not Calamity Trigger, right? You know.
Boy, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years since BlazBlue was originally released in the arcades, and I used to play that in the arcades in 09, I guess that was.
Oh, dang, you were playing like Family Fun Arcade and stuff like that?
Yeah, and Dungeon. That was I was playing that between games of SF4. Like that's what the reason I started playing it was that I was playing SF4 and then a new game came in, and while I was waiting in line for SF4, I was like,
that's what you do in the arcades. Yeah, that's how come people in the arcades got so good at multiple games.
Exactly.
You know? It's because you played something else while you waited.
So I played probably 6 months or maybe 9 months of BlazBlue, and I just got sick of it. I loved it, and I just couldn't keep playing Tager. I just couldn't do it. Anyway, it was a really good top 8. I recommend checking it out. I mean, there's always a lot of Ruby and Gord, and this was the case for this one as well. But it's rare to see more than a couple of Ruby Gords, like actual Ruby Gord.
Yeah.
There were some Gords, there were some Rubies. There's always a couple of Ruby Gords, but it's not. I feel like that's getting better as things as the game ages a little bit. So
that's how it usually happens. You find the powerful teams early on, and then stuff will happen. Like it's like Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3, right? Ruby and Gordo are the Virgil Zero of the game, basically, right now. So, and of course, even in Marvel 3, the strongest team was Zero May Cry, right? Put them both on the same team. So,
it's developing. Then in Guilty Gear, Omito won with Johnny. Samito got second place with Chip. Nage Faust got third.
Dude, Omito is invincible. That guy is ridiculous. Like, the things that he did to Samito in the first set, it just didn't even look fair. And, it's so rare to be able to have sympathy for Chip, because Chip is so annoying to fight against, and he's just, like, such a problem, because he's got...
Is he really good in this game?
You teleport YRC, and then once he gets in the corner, that's it. Like, his mix-ups are basically unblockable. It's literally just a true guess at that point in time, and everybody hates him, but everybody hates Johnny more. And then Omito is just kind of ridiculous. So
I mean, he looks like it, yeah.
I don't feel like he was really all that challenged, to be honest. I'm sad for Doran 2K because he did go 0-2 in the top 8, but I mean, he did decently. The first match...
Top 8 winners, right? That's
top 8 winners, yeah. The first match, I think he went up against Samito, and I think Samito just blew him up, so...
Correct. Samito beat him 2-0.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people think Johnny is stupid, but it was our time, dude, after getting nerfed for like 80 games in a row. So finally, we got what we deserved.
Congratulations. I see FAB is still somehow doing it.
Yeah, but he fought against Nage, and that was not a pretty fight. Nage just destroyed him. And again, Nage is the slot machine winner of Guilty Gear. It's just like every time he threw an item up, it was just like the most inconvenient item for Nage. For FAB, humanly possible, so, yeah.
All right. Then BBCF was won by Yamashita with Izanami, Conan, Tsubaki. I always have a blast watching that game, although I, like you, have basically fallen out of it to the point where I don't know, like, the characters of the last 2 releases, basically. So it's just, like, fun to watch without me really knowing what's going on.
Dude, I was just watching those characters, and I'm like, I'm not sure what their gimmick is. Like, what's their drive? I don't even know, but...
I forgot to bring it up in BB Tag. It was super sick to watch 24-Ban play Hakumen Akihiko.
Oh, really? Okay.
That was awesome. I highly recommend checking that out. Especially if you're interested in how the game might develop, rather than just being constant Ruby Gord type stuff where she's dashing around, cross assault when she's ready, like that kind of thing. He has a team that is super explosive, but kind of bides its time for that moment, and uses his resources a little bit differently. I thought that was super cool to watch.
Okay.
There's also a Weiss in top 8 in 5th place. Pretty cool. Like, it's,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching.
I know that character was never really doing all that well until the patch actually buffed her a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 7th place was a Mitsuru Yuzuriha team as well. So yeah, again, it was cool.
Yuzu's super good though.
Those are both good characters.
Yeah. I think,
for sure. They're just.
I mean,
you
that's
don't see them very often, but they're very good.
Team far range swords, dude. That's just really annoying. So
yeah, it was cool to watch. I really enjoyed it. Shout outs to ArcRevo, of course.
Oh yeah,
ArcSys.
But one of the cool things was the guy that won. Was it BB Tag? I think. He got super emotional because he was the one who just really wanted to go to the United States, wasn't he? Or was that the Blaze Blue winner?
Oh, I
think it was Goda. I think it was Goda. But like one of the winners was just that's all he wanted to do was go to America because the winner gets to go to the ArcRevo Championships, the ArcRevo World Tour Championships in the U.S. And I just want to see if it was which if someone in the chat remembers. But yeah, like after he won, he was just like super. Oh yeah. Shout outs to Radaka. But yeah, I was super, super happy. Like, he was just, like, emotional. He gets to go to the United States, so I think that's actually really cool.
Koji will get there. Yeah. He'll be all right.
Well, I mean, he's been to the States before,
be okay.
so...
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, the best thing about it is even after he lost, he looked like he was having a good time. Even at all the interviews, he's, like, talking trash and stuff like that. Actually, let me ask you this. What did you think of all the cool statistic stuff that they were doing? So, like, after each Guilty Gear round, they actually showed everybody's health during the course of the thing in a graph, and their tension gauge when they bursted in the round.
I didn't even notice.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So after the thing was over, it would show like Johnny and May or Johnny and whoever, and you would see their health, and they would slowly drain. Like during the course, like the round timer was all the way there, and so it's like. Omito's matches
on the x-axis was the timer.
Yeah. So Omito's matches were like, and then it would stop, and the other guys, their life would just like die right away. But you could see their tension. They would even put a burst stamp what at the time that they bursted, so you could see like the bursting time. And while they were playing, they had their heart rate meter.
No way! Wow, how did I not know this? Okay.
Right in the bottom in the middle, there was this line graph, and it was they're measuring their heart rate while they were playing. And it was actually kind of neat.
That sounds awesome.
I thought it was funny. You know, it was cool because it also gave people things to talk about. Like while they were commentating, they're like, "How is Nage remaining so calm?"
For
you know,
sure. That sounds awesome.
Like that. Yeah,
I would love to talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't. Somehow I watched without even realizing it. Cool.
Oh dang! So ASW just has access to that via an API, so they're not even doing any crazy thing where they're reading the screen. They just literally have that. They have somehow they can extract the information from the game, which is like I swear it exists in every fighting game. It's just that nobody has access to any of it. I swear it's really annoying. So
I hear you. Well, all right. It wasn't the only high level stuff going on in Japan over the past weekend. There was also what was it called exactly? Japan Round. That's right. That was the name of the tournament.
Japan Round.
Yeah, it was a Saga event for Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour.
So if they had an event for Final Fantasy Dissidia, would it be called Japan Square?
Well, all right, yeah. Can't let them off.
Come on, it's Square Enix.
No,
right?
I know who makes the game. Okay, all right.
Man.
Woo! All right. Moving on. Dragon Ball FighterZ was won by GGP Kazunoko.
Yes. Third Dragon Ball, if I'm not mistaken, right?
And it's the 6 out of the 7 as well. So there's only one remaining.
Yeah.
Right? There's 7? I don't know.
There's 7 Dragon Balls. Yeah. But look, even I know that. Okay.
All right.
Okay. But the Kazunoko won that again.
Yeah.
Which is going to be interesting because obviously the patch is coming up and things are changing, but Kazunoko's team wasn't as touched as a lot of other characters, so that's going to be interesting. Well, I don't know. Kazunoko, who's he using here?
He's been using his team for a while.
like Gotenks didn't get all that nerf, but Bardock got like. So we'll talk about it in the patch stuff later, but like Kazunoko, like
my limited understanding anyway. Fenrich got second place with Cell, Bardock, and SS Vegeta. What was your favorite part of this top 8?
I didn't get this chance to watch any of it, so unfortunately.
All right, sure.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know, man. Come on.
Oh man.
I feel like I'm watching this game from the other side of the bar. Like it's a bar we're all having a good time. That's not my friend group that's over there on the other side of the corner of the bar, but I wish them well. I hope things go great. You know, I'm not personally terribly involved in it, but I wish you all the best. That's kind of my feelings on the game now.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I was surprised they were coming out with a patch right before, like, the grand finals, right? Because the grand finals are, like, in the beginning of the year next year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that one, because we're already at 6 out of 7 of the Dragon Balls, so I know it's... So I was surprised there's a patch this late, so I'm feeling like that they probably don't want to tweak it too much right now, and then maybe after that, later, but yeah. I mean, I'm just hoping that, you know, once Season 2 rolls around, to extend on your thought, that they change it drastically.
Drastically, eh?
Yeah, I think the game needs a drastic change. Honestly, I think the game needs a damn burst. Like, kind of like, I mean, that's kind of how I felt about Marvel at one point in time, right? Because it was just too many instant kill combos and stuff. I mean, Dragon Ball FighterZ is... we'll get there in the patch, yeah. Okay.
All right,
so,
cool.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway, that's a bit about it for that one. I heard that it was good. I heard a lot of good things about how the top 8 went. Okay. Obviously, Kazunoko is one of the best players of all time. Continues to build on that legacy.
It's funny, too, because I was talking to someone today. I was talking to my brother about it, and I was talking about Goichi. And I was like, you know, Goichi, well, he's currently the best player in Japan. And I was like,
maybe not, yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe Kazunoko right now.
I don't hate Dragon Ball. It's just not for me. I don't have any, like, particular distaste for it. I didn't say I don't hate it. I just find it less interesting than other games. Yeah, I mean, that's whatever. You know, everybody's got their own tastes.
Yeah.
Now, there was a tournament that you may be interested in.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it, and I'm sad about that. But
well, I'm sure you can check out the old stream, which was done at La Dose TV. This is in France. There was the Vampire Street Battle 2018.
Had a lot of players traveling there, a lot of strong players, guest players showing up there. So, like I said, I didn't get a chance to see it. They've been tagging me in a lot of their tweets, and I've been retweeting it for them as much as I can. So, you know.
Winner was Nakanishi with Bishamon.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, all right, that's all right.
Because Bisham is not as broken as he was in Night Warriors, okay? So
second place was Atsuta with Shenko.
Okay.
Third place was, I would say, Kichio. I don't really know how to pronounce Italian all that well. With Felicia.
Okay.
Fourth was Fumiwo with Felicia.
Dang, okay, 2 Felicias.
Fifth was Okanime with Victor.
This is okay.
It sounds weird to me too.
This is so bizarre right now.
Fifth was also Sachi with Lilith. 7 was Isimorn with Dimitri. And 7th also was Rev with Lord Raptor.
That's the only top tier character that's up there, I feel like. Like, where is the Sasquatches? Where's all the
Here's something crazy.
Lord Raptors? Where's the QBs?
There are no Sasquatches in top 16.
Did they ban the character?
That's funny. Yeah.
Or maybe it just be one of those things where they're just all tired of him.
Well, I can understand that.
You know, and it's just everyone wants to play something that's more interesting, and you just end up, you know, leaning towards something else that's a little more interesting. Oops, I forgot to do something.
Rounding out the top 16 in terms of characters were Dimitri, Rikuo, BB Hood, Talbane, Bishamon, Shenko, and Lord Raptor.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty crazy.
Pretty cool. Yeah, check that out if you're interested. They also had a 2v2, which was won by Gorabora Lilith and Nakanishi Bishamon.
Okay. Nice.
Now, the only other event that I kind of wanted to briefly touch on was Gfinity, which is going on in the UK. Very unfortunately, it is held behind Facebook.
Right.
So if you aren't thinking about watching on Facebook, then you aren't watching it. Like if you're just subscribed to like follow Street Fighter V on Twitch, and you're like, I'll just wait for it and see what's on.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to see it.
Right.
There's nothing like that on Twitch for them. It has to be on Facebook for whatever reason. They have some exclusive deal. So, it's from what I've watched, and that's not a lot. It's cool, as it has been in the past when they've run it. I really like what they do. I think that they have cool production value. They bring in cool commentators. They have good players. The matches are good. Everything about it seems good. You just can't watch except on Facebook.
Right. One of my when I did the FGC locals for Aberdeen, Scotland, there was a couple of players who were on that Gfinity series, and I just thought that sucked because like they should be getting more shine for being on Gfinity and for doing well at that event and everything.
I mean, there's a lot of money that's involved in that in Gfinity. Like the players are getting stuff. It's not the commentators and hosts and so forth. They're not doing it for free. Production value is nice. They're spending money. It's just I got to imagine Facebook gave them just some absurd deal.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah, had to have been. Had to have been.
Right. But
they're really hurting themselves. Like I can't imagine they would do this decision on their own, or even if they were getting anything less than mega bucks from Facebook, I can't imagine them doing this. So.
For sure. That said, there's also Gfinity Australia going on, which I had previously thought was also behind Facebook only, but it turns out is not.
Oh, really?
So you can watch it. They go live on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific time, so 4 p.m. Saturday Australia time, or Eastern Australia time. You can check it out. They have, it's basically on everything: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.
Nice.
You can find all that stuff on the internet, I'm sure. So again, give it a look, because they really do a great job on the matches, the players, the production value. The commentary is good. Like all the stuff they have, that I think is really nice.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to watching it this weekend, because I previously thought that I could not for the Australian version.
Okay. Cool. Did you give AceKingOffSuit an invite to our Discord?
No, but here's his name.
Oh, okay. Which one?
Right.
That one right there? Oh, okay. So let's do this here.
Yeah, the cats are messing around.
Yeah.
That's to be expected.
AceKingOffSuit. Okay. Oof. Here we go.
Enter.
Explain this to me. Why is this not working?
Man, his name should...
Oh, I can only... This is inviting only friends, maybe?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Friends. Add friend. There we go. There we go. Send friend request. What in the God's name are you doing, Jasmine? I've never seen you crawl up there before in my life.
So we're going to get AceKingOffSuit on the horn to talk a little bit about the Tekken World Tour, which is coming up this coming weekend. Already many folks have flown out there for the tournament.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get him on here, because I'd like just to talk about the storylines, the players and everything like that, the current standings, and finding out all the information that we're getting in here. Well, I sent him an invite, so you did tell him to get up here at around 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, pending. Oh, I guess he's here. Yep, there we go.
All right, cool.
So hopefully he'll... Should I send him an invite?
Yeah.
Okay. AceKingOffSuit invite. There we go. So hopefully he should be jumping on here in a second. There we go. So jump into the general voice channel here.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Oh, there he is. Sweet.
Sing.
Oh,
Hey.
Hello. Can you hear us?
I can hear. Hey, hold on. I forgot to mute your guys' stream before I jumped on.
Nice.
What is good in the hood, gentlemen?
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, thanks for coming on to chat about the Tekken World Tour Finals.
Before we get into that, I got a little beef to settle.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Because a couple weeks ago, if you'll remember, you came on our stream when we were trying to give away a game.
Now you're talking about
you
James,
won.
of course.
No.
Oh.
Remember, you won the Soul... Oh, okay. David is being a troll.
See, your honesty betrays you. See, and I was going to come on here, and my plan was to just screw with you for taking our copy and denying us a giveaway. But, like, the day after that, I got a message from someone who won a costume on Capcom Connect, but they're in Europe, so they could not redeem it for whatever reason. So they gave it to us to give away. So we were able to have some sort of giveaway.
Wow, so you gave one to us, Capcom Connect gave one to you.
Yeah, it's pretty incestuous right now.
I feel like we needed to give something to Capcom Connect in the meantime there, but we didn't actually get around to that. In order to just connect.
Put that on the checklist.
Yeah, I know. Interesting. You guys actually won something from Capcom Connect. That's hilarious, actually. Oh, man.
Well, nice work. Good job. Hey, so what's going on with the Tekken World Tour?
Yeah, so that's obviously coming up this weekend, and if we're looking at the standings here, obviously Knee is in first place and stuff like that, and we've got the usual suspects there: John Ding, Saint, JDCR, Kokoma, Kudons, and stuff like that. Like, what kind of storylines do you see coming into the Tekken World Tour this weekend?
Well, do you want to talk about the finals first, or do you want to talk about the last chance qualifier?
Yeah, LCQ would be good as a way to start.
True.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so you have, there's two events this weekend. There's a last chance qualifier, which is going to be on Sunday, starting at noon local time, which works out to be 3 a.m. Pacific, 6 a.m. Eastern. And that is going to have over 300 players fighting for one spot. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. So we've got... Just going through the list, I had they just released the brackets for it. It's on Smash.gg. But just looking through some of the names that are in there, you've got a pretty strong American contingent coming out. Trungy is going to be there.
Okay.
Excuse me. As will Cuddlecore and Shadow. Both of those players just got picked up by new sponsors. Cuddlecore is just coming off a top 4 finish at Canada Cup.
Right.
So she's on the up and up. Shadow just had a strong run at SCR, 4th place if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So he's rounding into form. You've got Speed Kicks and Peeling. I can talk, I swear. I apologize. I've been up since like 4 a.m. today. I've had to move my work schedule around to make this weekend work.
Oh my
Dang,
God.
man. All right.
Okay.
But both of those guys were in the Tekken World Tour finals before. They're hoping to get back. You've got obviously some strong European players. The Italian contingent is going to be out there. You've got Kalak from France, who beat the EVO champion Lohai at the mix-up. You've got quite a few players coming from Asia. Pecos, Double. You've got Yu, the year she's had. Dimeback, who finished 20th. He was the first man out.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and he went everywhere, man. He was the person who went to, I believe, the second most events out of anyone on the tour.
Oh man! So he's like the Dark Jiwa of Tekken, then basically.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking, and he is on Team Dimeback along with Joey Fury, who right towards the end was right on that bubble as well. So it looked like they might have been fighting for one spot, but Joey did eventually get in. Dimeback's got one last chance. But the big name that I'm excited to see is Abel Del Maestro.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's the guy who won TXT and then came up to Canada Cup and got 3rd.
Right.
Those were the only 2 events he entered. That wasn't enough to get him in, but the Peruvian FGC held a GoFundMe. They got him funded. He's going to be out there. I'm really excited to see his Eddie is so good.
Do you know how well he was thought of, or whether he had traveled before this year?
Well, I mean, TXT has sort of become the biggest Tekken tournament in South America. He won the first 3 of them.
Okay.
So, and I mean, Peru has just dominated that scene.
Okay.
They have won all 6 between him, Sapito, and I forget the Crespo.
Damn. All right.
So, yeah, the Peruvian scene is very strong. He has a win over JDCR. It was either JDCR or Saint who came out a while back in Tag 2, and he beat him. There's some more behind that, but
going back a ways. When it comes to the LCQ, do you feel like there's a favorite?
You know, I'm rooting for Abel. Yeah. I want to see him
for sure, me too.
do well. I want to see the South American scene get some representation. I think Shadow is a guy who can do some damage. You know, Claudio's a character that is not in bad shape right now, and his Claudio's looking pretty good. My pick is Double.
Okay.
He's someone who hasn't really gone to a ton of tour events. He hasn't gone anywhere outside of Japan. On this year's tour, but he's done well at the Tekken Pro Championship events, the events for the licensed Tekken Pros in Japan.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah.
So he's the guy I got to go with right now. But there's so many good players there.
Not even the sympathy pick for Dimebag, huh?
Dimebag has been feast or famine. When he's on, he's really on.
Right.
And when he's been off, he's just sort of struggled. Like the next to last event he was at, he actually finished outside the points.
Okay.
So he's someone who could make a deep run, but really there's so many good players here that you could pick a name, they could win it, they could just as easily finish outside top 32.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's that kind of tournament.
Yeah, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's the way it's going to be. So.
Well, then when it comes to the actual top 20, which is the next day, I think, right? What are you looking for out of that?
Now, before we even get into that, how does the format work with 20 players? It's like it was last year, right, where they have like the pools, right, and then they're going to like 2 qualify out of the pools. Are they doing like a round robin pools? Is that how they're doing it?
Yep, there's going to be 4 groups to 5, and it works a little differently than a typical group play tournament. Okay. The big thing is how the names are picked. It's Budokai style, K1 style. So basically, the top 4 players are divided into separate groups, but those groups are going to be secret. So you will have one of those top 4 seeds in each pool, but you won't know which one until everyone picks.
Oh, so you only know who the other people who are actively picking.
Yeah, because last year, you know, the top seeds were known, and JDCR was in one, and Jimmy Tran just walked up and was like, "Boom! I'm going into this pool." I remember, and everyone like went nuts that he was like going after him and stuff. So,
you're still going to see that because everyone from 5 on down is going to be visible. So Kokoma's going to pick which group. He'll know he's in the same group with one of those top players. But he won't know if it's Kudans or if it's Knee or what have you. And then everybody else picks. What's really interesting is you look at the last 2 pickers. Number 19 is Jimmy J. Tran.
Okay.
Yep.
It's like the strongest bottom seed in, I think, Tekken history.
Right
there.
And he's not even going to get to pick. He's just going into... He has a 50-50 choice, basically, because there's only going to be 2 slots left by the time he's up there.
Or it could be one of those groups where, like, everyone's trying to avoid it, and so all the last 4 have to stuck
that's
in there.
right.
Very possible.
So if that happens, you're going to have Jimmy J in that group, and you're going to have whoever wins a tournament the day before and has momentum.
That's true.
So, there are 0 easy outs.
We saw how that affected Nemo last year in the Capcom Cup. he won the LCQ and then rocketed himself all the way to, what was it, 3rd or 4th place, right?
Third.
So, yeah, 3rd place.
So the top 4 are which? Can you name them for me, James?
So it's Ni, Jianding, Kudans, and Saint.
Okay. So they're all for sure in different pools, but then you don't know which one when you're trying to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Interesting. All right. What a funky arrangement.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, like, last year they had the top players visible.
Right.
I wonder what the impetus for them was to change it so that they hide the top 4 names, you know?
I know it's going to lead to more excitement, I feel, because there's going to be that element of, you know, Ni's been the number 1 seed all year. Mm-hmm. You know, he entered 8 tournaments on the tour this year. He finished 2nd at 2 of them and won the rest.
Right.
You got to grand finals in every tournament?
Every single tournament he entered, he was in grand final.
All right. That sounds pretty wild.
Yeah, he's kind of good.
All right.
He's doing all right.
All right.
But after the groups are settled, you're going to have each one will play a round robin. So five person round robin. Whoever wins Whoever wins the group advances in the winner side to the top 8. Whoever finishes second advances on the loser side.
So, is there a moment where the top 4 seeds are revealed? Like, will the the audience won't know that, right? Like that's secret information from everybody,
right?
So I just feel like as soon as the LCQ, so after the LCQ guy gets forced into his group, they'll probably go like, and the reveal, right?
That's what I'm hoping.
That's gonna be nuts.
That's pretty sick, dude.
Dude, I hope they play like some Price is Right music, or at least have like someone come up there and they could win a prize by guessing, like put the names in there, and they'd be like, "No, we're gonna get. Wait, do you have it all right? Okay, do you want to switch any of the names?" And then if they get all the names right, they can go. You know, I think that'd be.
They've
awesome.
always been, they've never been afraid to do something a little different. If you remember a couple years ago, the North American King of the Iron Fist. They had the tiebreaker where was an arcade style run out where if 3 players finished tied, A would play B, whoever won played C, and they would just play on until someone beat everyone in a row.
Right.
It was ridiculous. It was insane. It was awesome.
It was super cool.
I hope that we're going to see something like that. Maybe not exactly like that, but hope we'll see that level of excitement with this.
Well, as far as making predictions, I guess it's pretty tough without knowing more about, which pools have which players, and then that's all going to be settled right there on that day.
Right. People are going to pick Ni because it's smart.
Of course.
If I have to pick someone right now, gun to my head, I would go with Kudans.
Ooh,
really?
The contrarian over there.
Okay. You would actually, because that's back to back, right?
That would be 2 in a row. Obviously this is nothing new to him. He's got the experience in that. He didn't quite reach the highs everyone expected of the defending champion right away, but he's rounding into form right now. And he is 3-3 against Ni at tour events this year.
Okay.
Everyone else has a losing record against him.
So maybe you could imagine him going up against Ni in the grand finals, but then pulling it out, that kind of thing?
It could be. I think he'll get there from the winner side, honestly.
Okay.
Obviously it's tough to predict because, Ni, even though he's been so dominant, we've seen him get tripped up by players you wouldn't necessarily expect. He went to Damen, Germany, and he lost a set to Kane and Trench. Okay. He went to the tournament in Pakistan, and he got beat pretty badly by Arslan Ash.
That's right. I remember hearing about that.
Very strong player, but not necessarily someone you would expect to be on it. So, I mean, you've got guys like out here like Joey Fury. He's beat JDCR and Saint at back-to-back master events this year.
All right.
So I mean, go ahead. Continue.
No, go ahead.
No, so two things. One, it's very hard to find a picture of you on the internet.
If you watched the Best of Five show earlier today, you'd be able to see him on there.
Well, I mean, but that's like video clip. I'm just looking for a good photo of you.
Give me a second here.
I'll post it in the Discord. Just post it in the Discord because I'm trying to find a picture of you, so I can put your beautiful face up on our screen here. But the second thing is, while you're looking for a picture, so obviously one of the you picked that picture. Right. You picked that picture. I saw that picture actually, which is funny. So, let's see here. The question that I have for you though is that obviously Korea domination. Japan, kind of right there. Would you be willing to come out and say guaranteed, no chance that a U.S. player or a European player or anyone not from Asia is going to win this? Do you think there's any chance for them?
Look, I would not bet significant amounts of money on an American player winning or a European player winning, not because it can't happen. Like I said, I feel the gap between Korea and the rest of the world has shrunk, and especially with someone like Joey Fury, who's been on that grind. Tishuman obviously has a ton of experience against international players.
Tishuman is also from Japan originally, right? So
right. But he's Italian. He is Italian right now. So, I mean, obviously, you got Jimmy J. Tran and Anakin, who ridiculously good. Mm-hmm. So, but how many names? Like the top 7 players in the standing, or top 6, are all Korean. Because I mean, you've got Ni, you've got Kudans. Those guys have been ridiculous. John Ding, what a step up he's taken this year. Kakoma's been huge. And then, those other 2 guys are just Saint and JDCR, 2 of the legends of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not just that a Korean, it's hard to bet on a particular Korean player winning, but they have so many great players right now playing so well. It's hard to bet against that field.
Well, I mean, look,
makes sense to me.
We look at this right now, and literally 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place are South Korea. So is 8th place. And then 7th place is Tishuman from Italy. And 9th is Anakin from the U.S. And Nobi is in 10th from Japan. I mean, Japan is the lowest ranked out of like Europe, U.S., and Korea and Japan.
That is
right?
weird, actually.
So, do you even think that Japan has a chance?
Look, Naroma is probably the guy I would go with right now, even though Nobi is playing really well right now. I think Naroma has gone into hostile environments before. Last year he made that big mark by winning the Korean Master event, beating both JDCR and Saint. And then this year he went to the same event with everyone knowing who he was, and he got 3rd there. Right. Against a full Korean roster.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I would like to point out here too is that Ni has 1970 points, John Ding has like 1597, Kudans has like 1170. So the point differential is kind of high there. But once we get to about like top 11, so if we go from 11 to 18, they're all in 500 points. Yeah. So 590 to 510.
You mean they're within 100 points of each other?
Right, they're all within 100 points of each other. By the time you get from 11 down to 18, there's no distinction.
They're within 80 points of each other.
They're within 80 points of each other. So obviously, at that point in time, even though Naroma, who you're talking about, is an 18th seed with 510 points, but he's pretty much just right there with Book, who's in 11th with 590, right? So
right. It isn't like a night or day difference. The one thing I would like to point out in terms of points is that Ni, as big of a lead as he has, it could be even greater.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only did he not go to a bunch, not only did he only go to 8 events, but after Combo Breaker, this could have been coincidence. They could have been planning something or what. But now former Echo Fox guys, JDCR and Saint, were never at a tournament at the same time as the Rocks boys, Nee and Chanel.
Really?
Wow.
So they have not crossed paths in the Tekken World Tour since May.
I'm not sure I believe that would be happenstance.
I mean, here's the thing.
Well, I mean,
you
what
could
do you
take
think is
a coin.
happening? They're just trying to, do you think Nee is, trying to avoid them so they can't play him? Or do you think they're...
I think once they got to a point where it's sort of, it was clear that they were going to all make it because they've all done well. Mm-hmm, they all did very well very early. It's sort of like, hey, I'm going to this tournament. Okay, that's fine. I don't really need to go to that one. I'm going to this tournament. Okay, I don't really need to go to this one.
Okay.
So there's going to be that storyline there. Finally seeing those big names clash.
That's cool.
And the other thing is that the way the schedule worked out, there weren't a whole lot of events offline after the Season 2 patch dropped. So
that's right.
we have not seen too many of these big guns cross paths with each other since then, offline. Because remember, Master Cup, that was run on arcades. And that arcades don't have the Season 2 patch yet. So we really haven't seen all of these players in one spot with the rebalance game. So we may see some unexpected character picks. We may see some surprises. We may see some results that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see at the beginning part of this year.
Interesting.
There's a lot that's up in the air.
Cool storylines coming into this. Yeah. So, and
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Oh yeah. One thing that I want to remind everybody on the stream that
he can't hear us. I guess.
Can you not hear us? Oops. Hang on a second.
I can hear you fine.
Oops. You still there? Uh-oh.
His mic is not making the little green circle.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I think you might have gotten disconnected. We are making green circles.
I see green circles.
Hey, I hear you.
Okay, I hear you now. You still can't hear us? That's really bizarre. How did that happen? I swear I touched nothing.
Yeah, I know.
I touched nothing.
All right, buddy.
Oh yeah, I know about the buzz courtesy strike. I apologize about the buzz. The buzz is the sound mixer that we have. I think is getting old. So yeah, no problem. Go for it. Head on out and then jump back in. So.
Well, he can't hear you say that.
Oh yeah.
He already left.
So invite. Let's see. There we go. Cat.
Okay, let's see him hop in there.
Okay. He's no. One thing, what I was trying to say here, I don't know if he's going to be able to hear this then, but it's fine, is that one other thing about AceKingOffSuit is that I feel like he's a mandatory follow on Twitter.
Agreed.
At AceKingOffSuit, you just spell it as it sounds, no spaces, because he is the guy who puts out all the schedules. He has the best schedules. It has all the timestamp information, the time zone information, so you'll know exactly when to find everything. So, definitely give him a follow. Still hasn't jumped back in yet, so...
He's in the Discord, but he has not put himself in the voice channel.
Yeah. Exhibit asks me if I'm allergic to cats, why not get a dog? Because I travel too much. and my place is small, and I want to get a large dog, and my place is too small for a large dog.
Hey, man, it's all right if it's not going to work out. Appreciate you coming on and chatting with us. I feel like you got probably most of the most interesting storylines out there. Sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
I was hoping to give you a chance to plug your own stuff a little bit better. I know you got not just Best of 5, but also some articles coming up as well.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you heard, but I just told everybody to follow you on Twitter because obviously you are one of the best resources out there in the fighting game community. I feel like you're one of those guys. High Fight is another one of those guys. You know, there's just those guys that you need to follow, and I feel like those two are probably the most important ones. So. For
me, the three are those two and Glenn. I
love Glenn's
stats. The Glenn,
the Game 2K. The Game 2K with 2 spelled out, so it looks like the Game Twalk, but it's the Game 2K, and he's basically, he does a lot of good stats as well, a lot of good information. So,
hey man, let us know if there's anything in specific that you'd like us to plug for you. But
he jumped into the guest channel here. Let me jump in here really quick.
Oh, hey, what up? Can you hear us?
Oh no, he jumped back down.
Can you hear me?
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, I can hear you now. So can you actually hear us now?
If you can hear me, I cannot hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just tell him, type to him that we can hear him, and have him plug whatever he wants to plug as an outro, and then we're going to kick him out.
Okay. There we go.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. I can't hear them, so I'm going to shut up and get on out of here.
Just look at the chat, dude.
The show, but if you want to learn more about the players there at the tour finals, if you haven't been following the season, you can head to TekkenWorldTour.com. I've got a preview that looks at all the players coming up, who they've played, how they got to the finals, what they have working in their favor. So be sure to check that out. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AceKingOffSuit. And, of course, you can see me every Tuesday just before these guys go on the air on Best of 5. So twitch.tv/bestoftheshow.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Hope to see you guys in the chat room this weekend.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Much obliged. All right, get him out of there.
All right, no problem.
All right, he left himself. Anyway, sorry that we had some technical difficulties there. That's not the norm for us. Of course, our longtime viewers know that we pride ourselves on our top-level technology. And
exactly. Nothing ever goes wrong on the stream. It's such a shock.
Incredible, to be honest. Our record of success, remarkable. But we finally had an off day. Unfortunately, it was today. But
it was
again,
an
thanks to
Ace King
Steve.
off day.
There you go. I kind of wanted to ask what the name is about, AceKingOffSuit. There's probably some story there, but we'll never know now.
I asked him about it one time. I think he just said that he just liked the sound of it, or he was a poker fan. Like, I don't think there was anything deep behind it. It's kind of like the whole Ultra by David story, right? You just had to come up with a name in high school, and you just came up with
Before that, actually, I was in elementary school.
Really?
Yeah, I was 11 years old.
Dang, that's how long ago you came up.
I guess that was middle school.
Yeah, okay. Oh, he says it was the first poker-related name that was available.
That is the worst story I've ever heard. So.
Even worse than
Disappointing.
I just needed to pick something, so I said Ultra by David.
Well, I mean, I think at the time I probably viewed it more than just that, but I don't remember what it was anymore. I've been going as Ultra by David for 24 years, so
I know,
it's in the past. You'll have to ask old me. Anyway, hey, again, thanks so much for joining us. Do you want to take a break and we can chat about the rest of our chatting in a little bit?
Yes, let's do that. So let's take a quick break. We will be right back, guys.
Before we do that, I wanted to say thanks for the subscription to Fart Boner.
Yes, that's right. I definitely want to say that. Fart Boner, who was at a tournament that we were at. You did not get to commentate his match, and I could tell it was killing you.
It was killing me.
It was definitely killing you. So
yeah, that's true.
I will forever miss him being known as the last hairbender, according to the Hado.
That's pretty tough.
Yuns and Roses with 3 bits. Woo!
All right, I'll give it a woo. All right, y'all. We're going to take a break. We'll be back very shortly.
Yeah, again, sorry about the buzz, guys. I'll try to figure out what's going on with that. But the thing about it is I don't feel like it has to do with the outlet or anything like that because it's literally only one source. So if I turn down my microphone, the buzz goes away. Woo! Woo! But if I turn on my microphone, you can hear that. Not only that, but if I unplug my microphone, so I'll turn the volume all the way down. My microphone is now unplugged. The buzz is louder now.
Oh.
So even when I turn on the source, you can still, if I just turn the source volume up, you can still hear the buzz. And I've swapped the microphones between the two slots, and it makes no difference either. It's just source number 1 that's causing the buzz. So I'm not sure what's doing that. So
No, it's a good point that Naughty Senpai 69 makes, I believe. I think that's a good point. It's a good point.
I thought it was something about...
Yeah, of course, Sagati, the bi in Ultra by David stands for bisexual, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, originally when I first met you, I thought it was like, oh, you landed an Ultra, and it was an Ultra by David, you know.
I used to get Ultra B David, Ultra B, right? They thought maybe I was from some location called Ultra B. Mm-hmm. But no, it's not. It's a little simpler than that. Do you have that pic?
I was trying to get it, but for some reason, when I was clicking on the link, it wasn't showing up for some reason. Oh, I have to double click it? That's so weird. Since when have you had to double click anything on a...
What are you... Oh, you...
Yeah, there we go.
What?
What? What are you talking about?
Oh, me? No, but I do represent a character who is, yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No?
So.
No.
Okay.
What do you mean, since when have I ever been called Ultra B David? What do you like?
Hey, it's Zoidberg again. Always, dude, he donates
Pumping
bits,
it out.
He donates bits on my stream all the time for all my FGC logos. So every time we have to give him the unique whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, nice work. I appreciate it. I like it.
Okay. So every time that's what we have to do from him.
I mean, I'll try. I'm not great at it.
Did you watch Growing Pains? Do you remember Boner from Growing Pains? Like, there was the character, that was his name.
That seems like a mistake.
That's what they called him all the time. And I guess, back then, I guess it just wasn't that as bad, but that was literally his character's name.
What year was that?
It was 80-something.
I mean, in the 80s, that was...
Definitely it was a word.
Boner was for sure. That was a well-known euphemism. Come on.
His last name was Stabone, and that's the way they called him that, which is so weird.
Like, as the writer, you can come up with any number of reasons why his name is Boner, but still, it's a TV show, like, Boner...
See, I just don't know how that happened. I don't know how they got away with that, dude. It was so crazy.
There's a famous pic of me wearing a wife beater sitting in an arcade?
Was that the one with you with the long hair and you look like you're completely, like, zoned out, spaced out beyond all reason? Wasn't that the mullet pic?
Do you mean wasted?
I mean, you probably were wasted.
There's no probably about it, James. Let me tell you.
But wasn't there that is there was that that mullet pic of you, right? So
sure.
That's the
but
one
that
that
wasn't
you
in
used
an arcade.
that's the one that you used in the DHC thing, right?
Yeah, that wasn't in an arcade though. That was in my buddy's apartment.
Oh, it was just an apartment. Let me see. Do I still have it up here? Oh yeah. There we go.
Genius.
Yeah, there we go. So.
By the way, it's ready to go.
Yeah, but let's just jump. Well, you want me to go back and then we'll jump into this picture?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
that's fine.
Okay, sounds good. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to the internet program. What do you got? You're about to show us something.
So during the break there, people were talking about David and your picture of the wife beater and stuff like that, and you put that into the old DHC delayed hyper commentary pictures here, and you had some classic picture choices.
Look at that guy. That guy's not entirely aware. I can tell you that. Yeah, there were some good ones. By the way, if folks don't know, this might have been so old now that this is not even like a current understanding. But Tasty Steve was at first famous because internet famous, because of this hilarious video where he just goes wild for somebody who dressed up as the White Power Ranger.
Yeah.
He goes Tasty Steve wild, like just how he does.
Just look up White Power Ranger in the hood, and I think that you'll find the video on YouTube. It's one of the greatest videos.
It really is. Like he was internet famous because of that, way before he got into fighting game commentary.
I'm still also really impressed how very under night and birthy that this slide you created was a long time ago. So
what I got
that
here?
Guy who got too excited about the White Power Ranger on YouTube that one time, seriously, look it up. You won't be disappointed. As Tasty Steve, and you have all this text: Bray blew a plague off a bumblebee poking tournament, indemnification, honk, Virgil Gams, honk Anaheim Ducks rule. What noise does a moo make? Gigio gigs. Jeez. I've never actually looked at all of the text in there.
You weren't intended to.
That is definitely some under night and birthday stuff right there. But, I did want to remind everybody that...
the Ultra David in that background definitely is the one who made that background.
We were nominated.
Yes. All right, here we go. Here's some news.
Here we go.
We briefly addressed this last week, but we got some of the actual...
official art.
Official
media of this.
Correct. And, of course, they've been going around with it. Here you go. This is fan voted. We are nominated for the fan favorite esports caster duo, and of course you can see, as everybody knows, Artosis and Tasteless, Sajam and Tasty Steve, James Bardolph and DDK, Scar and Toph, then the other guys.
James Chen and Ultra by David.
Correct. We were on there. Yeah, I think that's pretty great.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, dude. Like we were saying last week, it's pretty nifty that this is a CBS thing and that they officially did this, and that this is the official, actually official.
This is the official
program. Right there. That's super official. So the reality of this is that we were sent this. Obviously, I edited this. We were sent the... So to start off, for some reason, their Twitter account dug out the ancient parody account from 2013 that somebody made of me called Ultra by David. There was also Ultra Gay David and Ultra Straight David. Mm-hmm. And all three of them had like this temporary, short-lived, bizarre conversation amongst each other. And then I never heard of it again for 5 years until CBS Television had somebody on their Twitter team who tagged me as at Ultra by David.
I think it was because...
So, I don't know.
You know what? Here's my theory. Is that they looked up Ultra David, and all of them showed up, and your account has a picture of Q.
Hasidic Q.
And so I think the other one, Ultra by David, is like the only one that has your head on it, right? I think like the other, like Ultra Straight David is like some anime girl or something like that, or something like that. So they probably saw that and was like, oh, that's him. Because they saw your face, and then they chose that one. Could be.
It is actually hilarious. It's not even alphabetical. I even went in to see, like, I tried to tag Ultra by David, and the only way to do it is to, like, write the whole name. It doesn't auto
really?
Complete or whatever.
Interesting. Okay.
So they actually had to write the thing in. It super weird, but hilarious. And earlier today, when we got the official email from, like, whoever's working out there at CBS, who gave us this... official art. I wrote back saying, look, I've noticed that my name is misspelled on this artwork. I was very polite about it. I was like very sincere and polite about it. I noticed that my name is misspelled on there. I appreciate it if you could make a switch. I'm sure it was accidental. Instead of, I've noticed that there's a space between Ultra and David. I assume that was unintentional. It's supposed to have been filled by. Supposed to be Ultra by David. Please let me know if you can fix all of these official graphics. That's how I'd like it to appear on CBS. I think it's so funny. Isn't that great? I mean, come on. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, it was earlier today.
Okay.
I also asked if it's being filmed in Los Angeles. I live like 5 minutes away from the CBS studios, so I was like, yeah, I could, we'd love to come over and be interviewed on television.
And accept our award
and
live.
accept our award
Exactly.
as James Chen and Ultra by David.
Now, before we move on to actual topics here, I just want to address something that Curly W said. Is it actually true that Tubaware first got famous for attacking a fake monster on Scare Tactics?
You've never seen the vid?
I've never seen this video.
Oh, he's a true hero. So, yes, first of all, it is. The story is that he was told that to be honest, I don't remember how it went. The important point of it, though, was that he thought that this guy was attacking a girl for real. Like, he was tricked into believing that this was all real, and that he was going to try to kill her and stuff. And so Brock, who was on his football team in school, literally ran at him and speared him and started beating the dude up. For real, beating him up. Like, he ran at somebody who he really believed was about to murder somebody.
Oh, and
he was like, I'm in here. He came in, lit the big old spear. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was super sick.
He's a hero,
I'm
dude.
telling you. No, it's awesome. It is
There's
awesome.
a lot of heroes in the FGC, man.
Yeah,
Tubaware, Yipes, these guys.
That's true. Yeah,
true heroes, man.
Yeah, that is a true story. I've asked him about it, and he said that it wasn't just, he was afraid for his own life as well as for her. He was worried about the whole situation.
He was going to beat the shit out of him for real.
There was no gonna, all right? Like, from what he said, he got some real good licks in on that dude, and on the video, they, like, kind of cut. Like, when he starts beating the dude up, then on the actual program, it's like, oh, hey, hold on, dude, stop. And he doesn't beat him up for very long, but in reality, he was beating that dude's ass.
Shoot, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Oh, someone, Fart Boner found it, of all people, huh?
Oh, good old Fart Boner. Yeah, why not?
All right, let me see if I can find this clip here.
Oh, it does not work, we've been told. Video unavailable.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not just in Germany. That's just not available now. That's a bummer.
That sucks. Okay.
But yeah, I'm sure it's findable. It's got to be still. It was definitely like a known video. It was not random.
Is that actually a thing from Tubaware status here?
Oh, did he save it somehow? Oh, there you go. Yeah, put this on the stream.
Oh, dang. Oh.
This is a very truncated version of it, but
okay. Let's do this here. Screen capture. So this is an animated GIF here. So this is what the heck? Did that not work? And screen cap. Oh, that's right. That's what I'm supposed to do. This right here. So here we go.
All right. So here you go.
So start from the beginning. There we go.
He speared that dude.
Dang.
And then you see how he gets picked up, and it's like,
they
in
pull
reality,
him off right away.
there was like a minute of him beating this dude. But on the show, it's like, oh, no big deal. Yeah, he just got speared, and then he got pulled away. No, that dude had some punches in him.
Dang. Okay. Dude, let's just watch. I want to watch this again.
That was a legit tackle. Look at that.
Crack!
He went
Oh my God. That was... That guy might have been hurt pretty badly, actually.
Yeah, he was.
He probably was hurt pretty badly. Oh, man. But shout outs to Tubaware, dude. Good stuff.
For sure.
Good stuff.
He's a good guy.
Yipes, if you guys don't know the story, was that he was at the subway and an old man fell into the tracks. And everybody sat there dumbfounded except Yipes, who immediately jumped into the tracks to rescue him and re-injured the ankle that he injured from Evo when he won MVC2, got the guy out of there. It was only after he jumped in that everybody else moved to help lift the old man out of the tracks and then help Yipes out of the tracks. But he was like the first guy to just jump right in there, basically. So like it was those FGC reactions. I think it was. He saw it happen. And the train was coming too. The train was coming. Like Sam was with him at the time, and apparently like she just started screaming because like the train was like on its way. Yeah. So yeah. Yep.
Whew! Anyway.
That is the power of Yipes.
Nice job, everybody.
So, okay, let's move on to the next topic here.
Yeah. Now, for our 5-5 matchup, we thought we'd do something a little bit differently today. Of course, the year is winding to an end. Street Fighter 5 Season 3 is probably running to an end. Presumably there'll be Season 4. Mm-hmm. And so we would like to discuss a little bit about what we'd like to see.
Yeah, a lot of people have been posting up their thoughts about it. I saw some people on Twitter, I think Justin or somebody was like, what do we need for Season 4, kind of things like that. And so, I just want to talk a little bit, like, very briefly on some general things that maybe we wanted. And then, rather than going through the entire cast, which would take way too long, I just kind of wanted to briefly touch over what is generally considered the best 5 characters and what is considered generally the 5 worst characters.
Yeah, we're not going to get into which characters we'd like to see and stuff. James and I have often talked about he wants to see Oro, I want to see 12. So.
Jesus Christ. You don't stop, man. You don't stop. Freaking Oro, dude. God, what a stupid character.
My bad. Anyway. James wants to see 12. I want to see Oro.
Personally, I don't have anyone in particular outside of Sodom and Honda just for completion purposes. That's the OCD part of me right there that wants those characters in there. So
I hear you.
That's right. Courtesy strike. Someone, gift him a sub or something like that, dude. Because he said it exactly right. 12 sucks.
Well, that is factually accurate. Unfortunately, he's also super cool.
So
sucking. I'd like to see him not suck, but unfortunately he does suck. No doubt.
Man.
Anyway, as far as general stuff, what would you like to see done in Street Fighter V Season 4?
I mean, I've talked about it, and I know nothing that I want is going to happen.
This is just totally wanking. There's nothing productive about this.
So, obviously, I want proximity normals really badly, because I just feel like that would fix so many of the issues with the game. Because by having proximity normals, you'll have better footsies, because half the broken footsie buttons are close-up buttons. They're all designed to be close-up. Laura knee before it was nerfed, Akuma knee, Abigail Strong's all day. Like, all the good Cammy standing strong, they're all close-up buttons, and they end up being too good because they're close-up buttons. You can't make them worse because then they'd be shitty close-up buttons, and then they end up being good as far-away buttons, too. And then you have all your moves are short range because you don't have enough moves to fill in the middle space and the far range. So Ken's low forward doesn't hit anybody. Ryu's low forward doesn't hit anybody because you can't make them hit further than they look because then you have to make the heavies reach super. There's just a bad. I don't think Street Fighter 2 had close-up moves on accident. I don't feel like somebody out there was like, let's make this game more complicated by adding close-up moves. They played the game and realized this sucks not having good close-up moves or far-away moves, so they put both of them in there. So I feel like Street Fighter V really, really needs that. And then also better Oki and a new defensive mechanic. So that's how I feel. The Oki and the defensive mechanic could happen. Proximity normals will never actually happen because they want to make the game simpler. So it's not going to happen, but it's absolutely needed. And then you can also hide the priority system and the crush counters on the close-up moves. So that way, so the priority system at least doesn't happen on footsies, right? So it's not like a chop and a low forward and they're supposed to trade and then you win and get crush countered because of priority system. So if you put the priority system only on close-up moves, then you don't have to worry about that stuff happening on footsies, but you would still have the ability to beat 3-frame jabs and stuff like that. That's my system stuff that I want to do.
I'm pretty satisfied, systems-wise. If there's anything that I'd like to see, it's maybe an additional V-skill, but that seems probably pretty difficult to balance.
Yeah.
So,
well, fixing the netcode.
I'm all right. I mean, obviously we all want the netcode fixed.
Yeah, that's not a system change.
Talking about gameplay.
That is like, why haven't you done this yet?
Yeah, like very obviously.
Yeah.
Obvious, that's for sure. We're talking about gameplay in particular. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty happy with things. I think that there are the changes that I'd like to accomplish are better done, more targeted by changing characters than changing the actual game mechanics themselves. Right. So I really like crush counters. I think it's cool. I'm cool with the priority system. In the cases of characters who have great crush counters and 2-bar V triggers, maybe give them 3-bar V triggers because they build V meter easily. Like stuff like that, I'd like to see changed a little bit. I'd like to see some of the payoffs for some of the crush counters, that kind of thing, change a little bit. But in general, I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest.
I mean, Eli Hendricks, trust me, I'm in the same path. I want more combo routes, but I don't want that universal. I want characters. I want a Viper in the game. That's why I like Manat. Yeah, that's kind of why sense. G is that way a little bit. G has a ton of routes, actually. A ton of routes. Zeku is kind of like that. So they've added a few as it goes. Yeah. I would like to see that get put into some of the old characters, but not all of them. Like Ryu doesn't need combo routes.
No, agreed.
Like Ryu just needs to be third strike, I hit you and you die, and it's really cool looking. Or something like that, right? Other thing, too, I would also like to see is, I've mentioned this before on my stream, is that if you don't quick rise or back roll, I would like to see more invincibility to throws when you get up. Shout-outs to the bits. Woo! From Sagatee. How about rewarding just frame combos with more damage and screen notification? No. No. I do not want just frame combos.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if you time the one frame link perfect, you get more damage? No. I'm not a fan of that kind of thing. I'm not into that, so... But I want it so that if you don't quick rise or back roll, you're throw invincible when you get up for much longer. Because that way, the player feels like they can get up and block, and just from a mental standpoint, it feels like the player has done something that succeeded, and then they get put into the mix-up. The hardest part right now, the reason why I feel like a lot of people don't like playing the game or they hate the game, is because you get knocked down and you just can't get up anymore. And you never feel like you made a right decision. It's like you get tossed, you get shimmy, you get this. Every time you think you make a right decision, they blow you up for it. But like in Super Turbo, if you get up and block, you made one right decision, even though you're in the same damn mix-up. But still, there's some sort of mental trickery that makes people feel better about it. So that's kind of why I would like to do that. And if you don't quick rise or back roll, enemies get free cross-ups anyway. So, and then we'll see more cross-up game, which is I feel like is missing from the game.
It's not a very cross-up heavy game. Yeah. You're not really jumping as a meaty stuff. So things like that I would like to see a little bit more often are some different V reversals. That is to say, better. But also Dragon Punches that are invincible. Yeah. I consider that more of like character stuff than like the system. So I do want like Ryu to have a better Dragon Punch, right? I don't feel like you need to spend meter to have invincibility. That seems bad, especially with crush counter punishing. I'm totally cool with that. So, but I feel like that's more of a character specific solution rather than the game wide.
Yeah, Trevzer, no, that's exactly right. When get knocked down, I want people to be able to get up again.
He's singing the song.
Oh, you're right. I totally didn't even notice that. So, yeah. Okay. I'm not chewing on the fingers. I'm chewing on the side here that got scratched. So, anyways, it's a different thing.
Nice work. I'm like I said, I'm pretty satisfied in general. I think that the game has gotten to a pretty good place. At the beginning, I wasn't very satisfied because I felt like too many characters played too similarly.
Yes.
And as the game has gone on, I've been happier and happier with that. And I hope that Season 4 continues that. Season 2 and 3 had a lot of very interesting characters. Yeah. Even Season 1 had characters who were different enough, like Guile and stuff like that. So I'm happy with how that's all progressed. I like the neutral game. I like the mix-ups. I think it's all cool for me.
Yeah, I would like to see... like the older characters given a little more flair to differentiate them a little bit too. So
I'm all for revising some of them for sure, especially some of the characters that we're going to discuss.
So I don't think Season 3 failed completely. What happened with Season 3 is that in terms of what Street Fighter V is, it was a success. The people who don't like what Street Fighter V is will not see Season 3 as a success. That'll be a massive failure because it didn't change the game drastically. It's still mostly the same game.
The gameplay. Yeah, I mean, it added some interesting archetypes, I feel. I think the characters are improved. like Falk could be better, but she's a cool zoner character. Like she's just not strong enough, but her archetype is in there.
She actually
I'm fine with that. Blanca's very unique. Like they have funky characters in there.
Falk, to me, is even probably one of the most unique characters in Street Fighter history, because I don't think that there's ever been a mid-screen zoner, and I feel like that's what she is. She's not she's not a full-screen zoner. She's
no,
kind
but
of
I'd like to see more of that from her.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Sakura is poorly done. She is definitely, for me, the grossest looking character of the game. It's either that or Falk, certainly.
Falk is...
For me, I hate watching Sakura so much. Yeah, she is probably too similar to some other characters in the game. Yeah. She didn't add a lot, I feel. But I feel like that's always Sakura. I don't feel like that's like a big change for that character's design. She's always either just another Footsie's character or just another Pressure's character.
Well, she was always like... I guess not always, because it wasn't the case in 4, but in Alpha series, she was like Zoner Premier. Like she was not Zoner, Footsie's.
She was a Footsie's character.
She was Footsie's Premier.
I'm just saying she's never like a unique gameplay character. She's another Footsie's character or she's another Pressure's character. She's not like something wild. She never is that. So from that point of view, she's very similar to me. I think that's fine.
And shout outs to Fuse Coast.
Woo! She's definitely boring. So is there anything else to say about the general gameplay? You would make some changes. I think I'm pretty cool with things.
Yeah.
Again, except for things I'd like to address via characters, like how their V reversals work, or
for me,
non-EX Dragon Punches being invincible.
For me, the main concern is that I know that there's a lot of negativity towards the game, and I know a lot of it comes from very odd psychological problems that the game produces, less than... Because everyone complains about wake-up buttons, right? And wake-up buttons have never been the problem. It's just that's just part of the quick rise back roll game.
Tool. Yeah,
that's just part of the game, right? Yeah. That's entirely the game. But everyone just sees the wake up buttons. There's a lot of weird things about this game that psychologically make people mad when they play it or frustrated that I would like to see kind of taken out without making the game easier. Because like I said, if you can't get thrown when you get up on the non knockdown, like I said, the opponent gets a free cross up and you are in the exact same situation. Because after your block stun's over, it's like you got up. You just throw shimmy, whatever. Blah,
yeah, I mean,
blah,
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I don't see a big need for it.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of the complaints about the game are much more having to do with sort of the same complaints that we always see for games. I mean, they come out as different forms, but I feel like many of them have the same underlying issues, which are that their favorite game is another game, or they are not having much success in the game. I really feel like that's the genesis of most complaints.
It's just hard to feel like you have success in this game. I think it's one of the hardest ones.
It is hard to
play. Even people are playing Tekken. Like, people are always like playing Tekken, they're always like, man, at least when you lose in Tekken, you know why you lost. I'm like, you don't have no idea why you lost in that game. I mean, but it's because when you get knocked down, you can get up, and it feels like you're doing something.
I really think that's a culture thing. Like a subgenre culture thing. More than it is the game
like
itself.
Everyone sitting there says that Street Fighter V is super guessy. It's all guesses. It's all guessing. It's just randomness. I feel like that's Soul Calibur in a lot of ways,
well,
too.
Every game has guessing, of course. I mean, every scene has its view of its game that is like the prevailing negative view. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they very often don't line up with what the actual game is. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's very common among all the different fighting game scenes.
And see, Arcade Ghost, you said it used to have a lot of Okazeme, and it was reduced in 7, and 7 has been the most popular Tekken out of all of them. This is just adding into my point, right? So now everybody is actually playing 7 because it feels like they can play more. If it was very Okazeme, I think people wouldn't play it as much as they did before.
In NRS games in the past, some games have been described as being, at the same time, too rush heavy. There's too much about mix-ups. Meaty mix-ups are too good.
Right.
Also, at the same time, that wake-up safe launching armor was too good, and that you could get it for free.
Yeah, and that zoning was too good.
And that zoning's too good. Mm-hmm. I really feel like a lot of these complaints are not grounded in reality. There are certainly complaints to be made. I don't want to come across as saying that there's not. Mm-hmm. And critiques. I mean, like, I think some of your critiques are reasonable and like well reasoned. Mm-hmm. I don't see a need for some of them, but I think they'd be okay. I think that they're well reasoned in any case. But I think that some others that people talk about are not. They're much more just grounded in. I preferred Street Fighter 4. I preferred Street Fighter 3.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at Street Fighter 5. I really think that's what a lot more of it is.
Okay.
So, anyway, I feel like the game is in a pretty good place, systems-wise myself, but I do think some of the characters need to change.
Someone did say something that was interesting because it reminded me of something that Derek Daniels Omni told me. He was like, because they said, I hate the fact that most of the interesting mechanics are hidden behind V-triggers, right? Derek was like, just start the round with a full V-trigger.
I think that actually might be cool. Yeah, I remember him saying that. That's true.
I think actually, like, I was like, are you...
Yeah, that actually might be cool. Yeah.
I was like... Because then you'd want to spend it early so you can build it back. And if you don't spend it, if you hold on to it so that you like try to combo into it.
And you can't build it.
And then, I don't know. Like, I actually think...
I mean, that would obviously necessitate some changes in how V-triggers work.
Oh,
the effectiveness of... They couldn't just be comeback mechanics as strongly as they are, right? You'd have to change them. But I do think that's a cool idea.
Because, look, when Alpha 3 came out and it was like, start the ground with full super meter... Everyone was like, this is going to be the worst game ever. And we just all got used to it. And it was actually kind of cool. It made the game feel fast.
Right,
you know
You're just in
there. It was dangerous right away. So
Necalli is definitely an issue with that idea.
Of course.
You have
to change the way Necalli works. Of course. Yeah.
Well, all right.
Otherwise, it'd be round 1, fight, V-trigger.
Yeah.
Except you would have no V reversals for the entire time. So
that is true.
And what would be
maybe just tone down how strong his V trigger 1 incarnation is.
Or you could also add in another a very important V defensive mechanic, and then if he V triggers right away, he has access to none of them.
Yeah, could be.
So
could be.
Okay.
All right, man.
All right, so
let's
talk about characters here.
We had identified 5 characters who we think are probably like the consensus best and worst.
Considered.
Yeah, there's like some marginal stuff here, but. As far as the top 5, we've identified Guile, Cammy, Akuma, Minot, and Ibuki. Some people may have Rashid there, but again, that's whatever, that's fine. And then with the bottom 5, Zangief, Ryu, Falk, Alex, Vega. Maybe some people would have Sakura, maybe Fang or something. But
exactly.
I think that's pretty fine.
Yeah, Jury is also another one that some people are probably going to say as bad, but I don't even think she's bottom 5, to be honest with you. So.
For sure not.
Yeah. Oh, dang, you're at for sure not.
For sure, obviously not. That's silly.
Yeah, some people do think Ed is at the bottom 5 as well.
Oh, so. I definitely am against that as well.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the top 5 here.
Okay.
So let's talk about probably one of the main... Well, my philosophy is I don't want to nerf the top characters too much.
By the way, I brought crack pie for you. I just realized.
You did bring crack. That is crack pie. Okay,
it is. This is a fork that I was using earlier today, so you may want to get your own.
Yeah, I'll grab a fork later on.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Because I saw your wife post about it.
I totally meant to bring it out earlier, and I forgot it was.
I saw your wife post about it. She's like, I have extras, and I was like, tell David to bring some, please. So thank you.
Crack pie.
Thank you. Okay.
Crack pie is basically butter and eggs and sugar. Like a lot of it, and then with a graham cracker crust on the bottom.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
crack
super,
pie.
super
Here we
tasty.
go. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So having said that, let's talk about who most people think is universally the best character in the game, which is Akuma.
Guile. Oh, okay.
Do you think Guile is universal? Okay. Akuma. Akuma.
Yeah.
What would you do to Akuma?
So in all cases, I want to make very few changes.
Right.
I think that the game is actually in a pretty good balance situation, even if I want to see some things tweaked. Many times those are more about what I'd like the character to do rather than like the character sucking or being too good. So for Akuma, I think the main thing that I would just like to change for him is to nerf his ground fireballs a little bit. That's really about it. I feel like he doesn't need to have red fireball activate from across the screen. I feel like I don't want his fireballs to be as fast as they are, or
way better than Ryu.
Basically, that's the thrust of it. Is that, and we'll talk about Ryu later. But essentially, what I'd like to do is switch the ground effectiveness of the ground fireballs between those two characters. Because I feel like Akuma, without that, not that I want to destroy his fireball game. Obviously, I want it to still be okay, but a little bit worse. That's not like why he's great. He's great because he has everything, and he's at least decent at everything, or excellent at some things.
Right.
So I feel like that's something he's decent at that he probably doesn't need, and that could much better be used on a different character in order to make that character not suck. So I really think that that's about all I would do for Akuma. I don't see like a big reason to change anything else about it.
I mean, to be honest with you, the reason why I even brought that caveat at the very beginning of this in the first place, because I actually don't know what the hell I do to him. Because I don't know if I want to even nerf much about him.
No, I mean, again, yes, not much.
He's not one of those characters. He's obviously super good, right? Yeah. Obviously, Tokido, a bunch of guys make him look really strong. But again, you don't see the proliferation of Akumas out there, and I feel like it takes a little more work to be as good with Akuma as a lot of other people. So honestly, I don't want to nerf people very much at all. The only thing that I know everybody talks about Akuma is EX Demon Flip. It's just really freaking good.
It is good. It
right?
is good.
But again, I don't know how you would nerf that to make it that much.
Like, it's not like a fast startup move, right? You definitely see it coming. But then his option that he uses up in the air, the hitbox that he has on those buttons, the advantage on block from EX Slide, the flip, like, they're all good follow-ups. So I wouldn't want to change that stuff.
Naughty Senpai, trust me, the neutral jumps and the diagonal jumps having the same button is a huge issue of mine as well, but that I don't want to get into that right now. I'd want to change that 100% too. So it's why neutral jumps in Street Fighter V have been better than neutral jumps in any other fighting game, ever. They've never been this good before in a Street Fighter game, except for
not
V.
It's not like a go-to option in most matchups.
It's pretty dang good. It's pretty dang good.
I feel like you don't see that very often, except for in certain matchups.
But Akuma lowering his health, I would be okay with again. Bringing his health back down, because that's just the way he's always been. He's always been a character who just dies really fast, and I'd be okay with him having the lowest health. So putting him back to 850 even.
I don't know. That's maybe too much, but
okay.
Yeah, I mean, taking 25 off, I think, is not a huge deal.
875, you think is okay?
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Again, I don't want to blow up his fireballs. I just want to transfer the utility of that to a different character.
Right.
I think that's all. And I don't know why it is that Akuma would have what are basically reused fireballs.
And a better parry.
Right, yeah. So, I think that's really it for me.
I mean, honestly, when I try to think about the things that are specifically this is a problem, really couldn't honestly think of anything. Maybe I don't know. Let me see. Let me check some frame data for Akuma over here really quick. So if I'm not mistaken, just don't want to say something here. Which is the stupid EX slide that he has off of the demon flip.
Yeah.
That thing is... What the hell is that move even called? I can't even remember. It's so impossible to look up this move.
Yeah, I don't know. Hyaki something.
Yeah, I know, right? It's plus on block, right?
I think it's +2 or +3.
See, I would just make it either 0 or -1. The slide, maybe the EX slide. Just make that one so he can't get out of the corner and keep pressure.
Yeah.
Because he gets out of the corner with that really easy. I'd like to make that negative on block, but not make it punishable. But make it so that if he gets out of the corner, then at least he has to deal with your mix-up afterwards. So, yeah. Okay.
I think that's about it. Okay. Again, nothing major.
Yeah. Second character that I know everyone talks about is Cammy, right? And look, I think Cammy's the best character in the game.
Okay.
I have since... basically forever,
right?
So I think she's at least in season 1 I thought she was top 3.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, but by the time you get to season 3, I think she's the best character, for sure. So what I would honestly really like to see is V-Trigger 1 changed to a 3-bar V-Trigger. I actually think it's too good the way it is, because unlike a lot of characters who can cancel into V-Trigger and turn defense into offense, hers is so much scarier because you're in block stun and she has access to a really powerful dive kick. Most people don't have that kind of... if Rashid cancels something into his V-Trigger 2, what's he going to throw a giant tornado at you, and you're really not that scared, right? But Cammy, it's she does a low strong V-Trigger jump dive kick, and you get hit by that. You can lose the round off of that if she has her full meter. You know what I mean? So I would like to see her go to a 3-bar V-Trigger. I would make standing medium punch 1 frame worse. In other words, instead of being +7 on hit, I would make it +6 on hit. Everything still works. except for crouching medium kick, which is fine because that shouldn't be a brain dead free chain link anyway. Crouching, and then also instead of +3 on block, I would make it +2 on block. I would make her crouching medium punch 0 on block. And honestly, that might be most of what I would do to her. Like, I feel like that would make her less oppressive buttonsy, and then her V trigger wouldn't be as good. I don't know. I still think her V skill sucks, but you know what? I mean, that's fine. She doesn't need.
It's
a good
okay.
V skill.
Yeah,
she doesn't need a good V skill.
I was thinking about that as well. It would be cool to have it be some fun, useful option. I just don't think that's the character. Like, I think that's the character. The character is kind of just the boring, very workmanlike, very good, but like no frills.
Right. I would
think
personally like to make the hooligan a major component of her game.
Dude, I think that'd be a blast. But you'd have to change the character.
Oh yeah. You'd have to redo the character completely, which at this point in time is too late. Probably.
Too late, right?
So,
I think so too. Yeah. It'd be great to see Cammy go back to kind of hooligan as a legit grab option, but maybe Street Fighter 6 or something. Like I think like that's
but even if it wasn't, like, just making it so that their angles are a little bit more different, so you can avoid things, and the dive kicks would be a little more interesting. But then it would be Akuma Demon Flip, maybe. Who knows? You know, not sure. But honestly, I mean, I do think that she's too strong, and really a lot of it comes from standing medium punch. I mean, +7 on hit is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Right,
very good.
And that's also why you get all the gray health too, because she goes medium punch, medium punch, medium punch, and then also the brain dead confirm of medium into crouching medium punch. Crouching medium punch is still plus on block, so even if I do bop bop, I'm plus. So if I make it bop bop and I'm 0, now if you're just doing the autopilot confirm, and then also probably make a little more pushback on some of her lights.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you on stand strong. I think that was something that I was thinking about as well. Because, as you alluded to, a major threat that Cammy has is that she builds Grey Left maybe the best in the game. She's super, super good at it. Because her buttons are so fast and so plus, and she walks so fast she can do it again. That's really, really strong. I would like for jab to no longer go into the back strong launcher chain.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's too
nobody
good.
Else has
nobody
that.
else has something like that. And if anybody's going to have it, I feel like it shouldn't be Cammy. It should be some weirdo. Like, rather than just the very workmanlike character.
Or Chun-Li. Like, I feel like it works for Chun-Li.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I guess I consider Chun-Li more of a... She has her own niche, whereas Cammy is just...
The straightforward
very
character.
Straightforward. Yeah, she doesn't... I feel like she's not the character who needs to have something like that. So I'd like to get rid of that. I'd also like to make it so that her V reversal, without making it more punishable on block, I'd like to see it start up more slowly, so that on reaction to it coming out, you can usually, maybe more easily get something out of that. You can jump more easily. You could recover your button faster, so there's fewer situations where she can get out of the corner.
But then it would never actually work, right? Because it barely works as it is.
I want it to not be a great option. Yeah, for sure.
So
I want there to be like certain... So, like, if Dictator does scissors against her in the corner, there's a lot of frames there where he can't do anything else. She gets out of the corner. But in typical situations where you're pressuring her with strongs and even fierces, I don't really want her to be able to escape the corner that well. I want you to get a reward for having chased her down, put her in the corner. I don't feel like she needs to have such good options out of there. She already has other good options.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that one is like... I just don't know if that's going to change much because she has V trigger into dive kick, which gets her out of the corner.
I don't want it to change a lot, for sure. I mean that's in my goal in all these changes is not to change very much, only on the margins, because I feel like the game is not very imbalanced anyway.
Right. Okay.
I think that's really about it. Just those few things.
Okay.
Guile.
So here's an interesting one. I think one of the biggest problems with Guile right now is that one of the classic things about Guile is that if you threw a Sonic Boom and you jumped, a lot of times there was nothing he could do about it. He had to deal with it. He had to hold that. But in this game, unless you're jumping right when he throws a Sonic Boom, you can't make it over because he's just going to flash kick you. He's just going to flash kick. Flash kick charge time is too fast. Way too fast. The problem is they have to make it fast because otherwise upside down, low, strong flash kick won't work, right?
Okay.
Because if you change the charge time, you kill all of his combos, right? So make one of the flash kicks have no invincibility, and takes a lot quicker to charge up.
Oh, wow.
So make the light kick, flash kick, take quicker to charge up, that has no invincibility on it at all. So you can do upside down kick, low strong, flash kick. But if he throws a sonic boom and you jump at him, the roundhouse one takes longer to charge, has the anti-air invincibility. You can do the light kick one, but you're going to lose because there's no invincibility. You're just going to get kicked in the face. So now you can actually jump over the sonic boom, so the sonic boom isn't as effective, and it's more like Guile was all along, and you didn't remove any of his combos because you just used that for the combo button, basically.
Do you think maybe like just having Roundhouse have more hit stun and also more active frames? Something like that?
It would be weird.
Have more recovery, I guess is what I mean.
It would be tricky because it might work. And
just like calculate it so whatever number of frames you need.
And the hard part, honestly, is that it's annoyingly unintuitive.
Yeah,
it makes it like, why can't I do one flash kick? Why can't I do the other? And I don't like that at all. I don't like that, but that's the only way I can think of how to solve this problem in a way that doesn't mess stuff up. So yeah, you're right. Maybe like if he does an upside down kick, the hit, like for some reason,
lasts a while.
The hit stop lasts a little longer or something like that. Maybe. But I would like to see a little bit of nerf on that part of Guile because his anti-air is already pretty dang good even without a flash kick. But then he has the flash kick as an option that works almost all the time, and I think that's just really, really good. So,
it is good.
So I would like to see that little bit nerfed. That would kind of hurt him a little bit. And actually, I think that would hurt him significantly enough that you could actually jump over a sonic boom and get pressure, because that's how he always was. And yeah, that would make his fireballs a little bit weaker, but then he still has the ability to fake the fireballs, and people will misjump it and stuff like that. So
okay, is that about it though?
That's probably a large portion of it. Maybe make the Sobat maybe a little more negative, or like maybe 1 or 2 frames worse or something like that. But honestly, again, I don't want to change the top characters too much.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. The only change that I want for Guile is to make it so that his walking normals don't move as far. I think that's it.
Oh, like the Sobat and the
Sobat, Bazooka Knee, and Roundhouse. They all move forward pretty well. They present good hitbox while doing so. You can link out of them in some cases into combos. I don't want to take that stuff away, but I do want to make it so that he has to be closer to you to make them effective. Okay. I'm cool with having defensive Fortress Guile. Like, for sure it's very good, but I think that's okay. I like to have that playstyle. But I don't also need that character to have excellent pressure.
Yeah.
And Guile is great at starting his pressure because he has great forward-moving normals. He's still holding charge while he's doing these things, or he's giving up charge to move pretty substantially across the stage with something like Sobat.
Right.
And I want that to be harder for him to do. So his up-close pressure I don't need to make worse.
Right, yeah.
I just want it to be harder for him to get there in the first place.
Okay.
Maybe he'd have to walk forward more and give up charge to do that, rather than using knee and roundhouse. Like, I really think that's it.
See, that's the thing is, like, I actually feel like if you change that flash kick thing, it doesn't make him any weaker defensively. Like, because he's still going to be, like Dalsum, he can pick between, like, 7 different normals and still counter you. He just doesn't have the guaranteed flash kick.
Obviously, he is weaker, right? You think he'd still be good, but he'd be weaker defensively, of course. I don't really need to see him be weaker defensively. I'd rather keep him strong defensively, but less strong offensively. Okay. That's all. I feel like there's plenty of strong offensive characters, and as well as some good all-around characters like the ones we're basically talking about right now.
Right.
And I don't think that he needs to be as all-around. Basically it. But nothing major.
Okay.
What do you think about for Ibuki?
Ibuki. This one's weird.
Yeah.
Because it's just... I mean, really, honestly, the shuriken turned out to be way better than it should have been.
Okay.
So, it just basically changed the bomb into the shuriken for crazy left-right mix-ups. All the left-right mix-ups are still there. She really didn't change much. So, I don't know, like shuriken 3 bars maybe? A 3-bar V-trigger? Don't let her build as much when she uses her V-skill?
That's my one change.
That's all you would do.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
Is just make it so her V-skill builds less V-meter. That's it. I don't think she's like a particularly abusive character otherwise. I don't think she's that easy to play. There's not that many strong Ibukis in the world. She is a strong character if you can master her, which I think is fine. I'm cool with that. I just want fewer situations where she easily turns into crazy mix-up character.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see Fujimura get 3 per round.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is that she has one of the best V skills at building V meters. She's super good at it. I don't think that that's necessary. I think that can be nerfed, and she'd still be basically fine without that, stealing around factor being quite as strong.
I do say that I would like to buff V-Trigger 1 just a little bit. So for Cammy, I would buff V-Trigger 2 a little bit. Maybe send it back to how it was before with multiple uses, instead of the one use. And same thing with V-Trigger 1, I would buff it a little bit just to make it a little bit more.
That's fine. I'm down.
Like you want to pick one or the other. That's always one thing that bothered me is whenever you have those choices, it's very rare that both of them are good.
Yeah, for sure.
And that drives me nuts. And so I would like to see a balance on that.
Makes sense to me.
Because that was one of the things I was hoping would make players differentiate themselves. Like here's the V-Trigger Cammy 2s, the V-Trigger 2 Cammies and the V-Trigger 1 Cammies, but it's just V-Trigger 1 is like 7,000 times better than V-Trigger 2.
I feel like Cammy's hard to do it because, again, the people who are playing Cammy are just very straightforward.
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird character to put a shenanigans V-Trigger on because that's just not the people playing it. I don't feel like that's very well suited. But I think it's also kind of a bummer that Ibuki has 2 mix-up triggers. Like, it'd be cool if one was something very different. But they just didn't do that. It's not super important to me that some characters' triggers be balanced because I feel like people playing that character are playing the character to do a thing, and that's it. Like Urian's V-Trigger 2 was pretty good, but you're playing Aegis, right? Like even if it's not as good, you would be bummed to not play Aegis, right? If you're like a competitive Urian player, it's just a fun thing. That's my view on some of those. And then for Minot, the only change I want to see is that orb normals considered projectiles in the orb itself. So when she throws Fierce, her hands can be a hitbox, an attack hitbox.
Right.
The orb projectile.
Interesting.
I think that's really it. So that gives characters like Zangief a chance because now his V-Trigger spin isn't just going to get busted every single time because he can spin at a range that's outside of her hands but within the projectile
suction range, and the ball will miss.
And the ball, so he'll spin through the ball. And there's other characters who I think would really benefit from that as well. But there's, that doesn't work like that, obviously. So I think that's really about it. I think she is basically fine. It's another character that she has a super strong V-Trigger, but it's such a cool V-Trigger. It's so fun to play and watch, and it lets you do such unique things that I really don't want to restrict it. I don't want to make it.
Look, the obvious.
I don't want to make it more rare. I want it to be really good. I think that's cool.
Everybody who says is they want to put hurt boxes on her orb, and I don't want to do that. I actually don't want to do that.
I'm with you. I think
it's super
necessary.
interesting that she is the way she is. Honestly, for me, all I would do is just change her V-Trigger to a 3-bar V-Trigger. Just change V-Trigger 1 to a 3-bar, make V-Trigger 2 a 2-bar, and that's it. I don't know if there's really much else.
Definitely that would balance her better. Than she currently is. I just don't want to limit V-Trigger 1 because it's so fun.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
I feel like that'd be a bummer, right?
It would be a bummer, but it's too good. It's too good.
I think that's fine. I would rather change other things about the character and let the V-Trigger remain because it's so cool.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that for sure. Yeah. But I think that's one of the main things. But turning the orb into a projectile thing is actually a really interesting idea, and I haven't thought of that because that gives everybody the projectile invincible ways to get in as well.
Exactly,
right.
Yeah.
So
Vega can spin through it. Right. A lot of characters have something that is an anti-fireball tool.
Right, Cammy can EX drill it if she wanted to.
Exactly.
And so Bison could, EX scissors? No, that doesn't go through projectiles
No.
now. So.
I guess not for him. But, many other characters have stuff like that.
Yeah, but Bison doesn't really have too much of a problem against Minot, I feel like.
I don't feel like that either.
Yeah. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep. Okay. So what about the bad?
Or being a projectile would definitely be a nerf for her in some matchups, for sure.
Oh yeah, it would be a huge nerf.
Sure.
Can you imagine if Nikali did a stomp and you did an orb? It wouldn't hit him.
There you go.
You would stomp the orb.
I think that'd be cool. That'd be a cool counter to it.
Yeah. And then Bison. Well, actually, Bison would be able to absorb it anyway. And
that actually would be sick. Oh, he can.
Yeah, it'll do it anyway.
Yeah,
it'll do it anyway. So yeah.
Anyway. That's it, dude. I don't want to make any changes that are major to any of these top 5. And same, if we had picked Rashid instead of Ibuki, same thing. I wouldn't want to make any big changes.
Yeah, it's weird. I still don't even know if I would count Rashid as top 5.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not saying you need to. And I think I agree with you that this is the top 5. But other people would say Rashid, and even in that case,
Some people might even say
They'll need a
Abigail
big
or
change.
something like
Yeah,
that.
they'll need
right?
a big change,
But
yeah.
I like the way it works. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's just like what Swift is saying, I would rather buff all the bad characters. So speaking of, let's talk about the bad characters. Let's talk about the worst character in the game.
Who's that?
Ryu.
Okay.
I still think he's the worst character in the game. So all I would do to Ryu is just... Yeah, I know. It's one of those two. It's one of those two. All I would do with Ryu is just make his fireball annoying again.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do is make his fireball annoying again. Like I said, I've had a billion ideas. So max range, low forward fireball, fierce fireball is going to be a true block string.
Definitely.
Right? True block string definitely hits combos every single time. Right?
Definitely.
Like I said, I want to give him an EX fireball that he can hold. And then let go. Again, doesn't change the damage, doesn't change anything, just changes the timing. Because everybody, like Balrog, who has crazy V skill and I can punch you, everyone just waits to see him do... I don't want to give him a fake fireball. No fake fireball. Fake fireball is a terrible idea. But if you give him something that he has to commit to, but he can delay it and it costs meter, then if he has the read that you're going to try to V skill through it, he can charge it, you V skill, and then let go of it later, and he can hit those frames. You know what I mean? So all the people that have like really crazy ways, because fake fireball is just a really, really bad idea. It's just a fundamentally bad idea for a Ryu character. So it's too good, or it's useless. You either make it go ha, and it's too good, or you have to go ha, and then you're just killing yourself throwing a fake fireball. Like there's no middle ground to make a fake fireball work.
I agree.
Right. And then the other thing I would do, honestly, is I would change V-Trigger 1 so that his fireball doesn't drain his meter at all, and it's just super annoying.
I agree.
But if he uppercuts, it drains his whole entire meter, and the uppercut does like Shinsho, like a cool Shinsho, right? Yeah. Because then he could just be really annoying on fireballs, but then if you jump over one fireball and he uppercuts you, that's the end of it. He got his reward out of it.
Yeah, I'm told, for sure. That's exactly right.
Oh yeah, that's kind of, okay, yeah. And then also when he was in V-Trigger, the fireball would automatically do 2 hits. I would just make it automatically do 2 hits. And just make it as annoying as possible. I just want his fireballs to be super annoying as possible.
Definitely.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I for sure. I had the same idea, man. That's what I want. I mean, as I mentioned with Akuma, I wanted to decrease his fireball a little bit and kind of basically give utility in that way to Ryu. And I think you put it quite well.
What about hop kick?
I don't need that. The other thing I would say is, like, let strong, fierce roundhouse just hit crouchers. I don't care if it hits crouchers. Who cares?
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
Like, just let it happen. Make it so that he can basically, for a while, I think it was medium Tatsu that would hit crouchers.
Yeah. It was in one of the betas.
That's fine. Yeah. Something like that. Like,
or just give him ridiculous Akuma standing medium kick that stands everybody up. But
there's just no need for that stuff.
But we forgot about the most important buff for Ryu, which is obviously fix the donkey kick animation, please.
No, yeah, God. I mean, that would be great.
God.
Honestly, I'd be happy if they literally took it out and just had medium Tatsu do what it did at the start and hit crouchers and basically serve as donkey kick.
Right.
That's totally fine. EX hurricane launches now instead of donkey kick. Like, it's fine. Just it's so bad.
Just give me a better looking donkey kick, please.
It's really gnarly.
Please. Oh, God,
anyway, that's really about it. Just more effective fireball. That is to say, so faster and faster recovery. Faster startup, faster movement, faster recovery. Not by a lot in any case.
On the fireball.
On the fireball.
Oh, dang. Okay.
And that's it. And then have him be able to hit crouchers.
Like, honestly, Ryu point blank fireball should be like 0 on block.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
Right? Like, it should actually just be completely like, hey, we're even kind of a situation. So we really
definitely agree.
Yeah, slowing down Ryu's light punch fireball.
More variation between the fireballs will be nice. I really think that's where to balance the character.
Dude, Naughty Senpai, I have told everybody that. Everyone always has the same answer. Who should be the first character? Play Ryu. No, dude, in this game you play Cammy. Because Cammy is Street Fighter 5. Like, she's literally Street Fighter 5
Even in
Persona
SF4,
5.
I felt like Cammy was like the default character.
Once we got to Arcade Edition and Ultra, I felt like it was that way. Because before, she didn't have any combos off of her lights like everybody else did.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm thinking about later Cammy.
Yeah, later Cammy for sure, because low jab, low strong was a thing.
Yeah, it was really good.
And before, you had to go low jab, link stand jab
Yeah.
drill, you know.
Fireballs
all
weren't that
stuff like
effective for most characters. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Zangief then.
Okay, so Zangief, I would just... The biggest thing I want is a reversion of the most annoying nerfs that he got after Season 2 ended. It's crazy that crouching jab can't combo into anything. I don't know what they're thinking. Crouching jab into jab. Please. Like, why? I just don't see why not. It's so frustrating as a Geef player to be able to not be able to do that. Make it so that the Lariat's added delay is gone. It doesn't need to be great. I don't want him to have great combos. That's definitely not what I want out of Zangief. But I also don't want it so that if I combo into Lariat, I lose all positioning. I don't want to get a lot of damage out of it, because he should be about grabs. But I also don't want the opponent to be 3/4 screen away after they get launched, and I have more recovery, and they back roll, and now I'm back to a bad situation because I'm Geef and I need to get close. That's too much.
Right.
That's just too much. So I think those are like the two most pressing needs for me. I would also like it so that V-Trigger 1's spin is something like -3, but just outside of the range of 3-frame punishing normals. So like it's not his turn again for sure. People can basically press strongs and hit him, right? Not punishing, but like now it's their turn. But he doesn't get outright punished for it. I think it's crazy that it's actually punishable.
Right.
It's could be such a fun trigger, but it's just not. The other thing is that in V-Trigger 2, I'd like there to be a reason for that to exist. So I think it'd be cool if once you activate, because there's not. Once you activate, it'd be nice if that SPD was like a 1-frame SPD.
Oh yeah.
And now you just that it can combo from anything instead of just having to be canceled. Maybe you can link out of like forward strong, forward medium kick, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So that you can wake up, you have defense, you have damage, you're scary again in a way that you're not usually as Zangief. Once you've activated trigger, so it's not like you don't just wake up fierce roundhouse, like you have to be in it. You know, I'm still not sure that there'd be many situations where it'd be useful compared to V-Trigger 1, but I think that would be nice to do. Make it more interesting at least. And the one thing I've always wanted, which I guess is maybe a buff, but it's just more fun, is for Fierce SPD to do more damage, but to be crush counterable in recovery.
Oh, I see.
He has to take a big bet on whether you're going to be there or not, but that's less important. The most important things, I think, are just to revert the nerfs from this season and to make it so that V-Trigger 1 is not an outright punishable move.
Right. I have a tough time with Zangief because I kind of want to rework him a lot in the SPD, the way that the SPDs work, because I don't like Vortex Zangief. I think Vortex Zangief is kind of stupid. I miss Zangief getting damage off his SPDs and coming back in. The reason why the Fierce SPD can't do that much damage is because it leaves you so close. And they're too scared of that.
For sure, yeah. I wouldn't want it to result in that kind of immediate situation.
Right. So what I'd want it to happen is that I'd want it to be able to do a lot of damage and bounce you across the screen like it used to.
That's totally fine.
Right. But then, of course, he has to be able to get in again. I think V-Trigger 1 should suction for full screen. Honestly. But, like, that's not going to hurt. Like, how is that going to, like, hurt another opponent? Like Sonic, and then you suck them in and you pull them in, he goes, but you don't get a combo off of it. You don't get anything off of it, but it just makes it so that, you know, you can kind of, like, pull them in and make them a little
just
annoyed.
Being closer. Like, as Geef, I think part of why they don't want to make V-Trigger 1 safe is that as Geef, you could always just do V-skill to absorb whatever button they're going to put into you, and then do like a pile driver or whatever.
Yeah.
So he always has options, even if they're bad ones up close. So to be able to do that from full screen is maybe too much. But
I think it would be funny.
Well, it would definitely be funny. And it would be super fun for Zangief players.
Right,
but, you know.
And then I would make his V-skill maybe take a quarter white life. Or maybe none, or like
that should some.
The way that, or I would like to see it that if he actually does the flex, he recovers all gray health, or a chunk of gray health.
Maybe a chunk.
So you can absorb, and then like from a screen away, absorb a fireball, absorb, and then let it rock, and then you build some back, absorb, let it rock, and then that way you can absorb stuff from a screen away or whatever like that, you know, or something. Because the thing about it is, Abigail's V skill is a parry, and it's like 10,000 times better than Zangief's, right? Like it would be cool if Zangief's could be used as the real like iron body kind of like you're just scared to hit him kind of thing.
I would really like to differentiate Geef and Abigail into being Abigail the more normals-focused, pressure-focused character, and Zangief being the more defensive, come-to-me character rather than me going to you.
Yeah, like it kind of was before, right?
I feel like that would... I'm not even sure that they thought about it like that, but because I kind of feel like the way that they designed Abigail preempts Zangief in a lot of ways, even Season 2 Zangief.
Yeah.
So I'd like...
that's the biggest weakness of 5, is that so many characters preempt another character.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
The last couple of games have been like that. So I'd like to focus more on Geef being not fast, not great at getting in, but he can bring you to him in V-Trigger 1.
Suck people up in the street.
I mean, I just think that might be too good, but it would be cool though. And then, or having V-Trigger 2 be like your defensive, you got to worry about me option.
I mean, I had even thought about just making EX SPD invincible for the first few frames. Just make it so it's a wake-up attack. Just so that people are scared of Zangief when he gets up again.
It's been like that in previous games, and that's would be okay.
Yeah. I just kind of want to see that again. But I really want to make him a grappler again, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why you can't make the grapples too good is because of the fact that he lands right next to you and he gets these stupid mix-ups so that fierce SPD loops lead into each other. So if you just make it so it bounces him far away again, you can give the fierce one damage back. You can give it a little more range than it has, you know what I mean? So that if you really have the read, you can walk up into SPD people, and then you make it the startup instead of being 5 frames, right? And just make it 3 frame startup at this point in time. You know what I mean? Just so you can make the SPD great again, and not have to worry, because the reason why it has to suck is because it's just too good as the way it is. If it was like that, and so I hate the fact that Zangief wins by doing the robbery. I really, really hate that, you know what I mean? So I want him to suck you in, get his big reward, and then go back to doing it again. You know what I mean? That's kind of the thing. And no green hand. I don't want a green hand.
Yeah, I don't need a green hand. I've always thought that it would be nice if they differentiated all 3 SPDs. Jab has really good range. Fierce is really big damage, but right up close. Or maybe it knocks you away. That's fine too. And then the strong is kind of like in the middle, so that, for example, maybe in this game, Strong could keep you really close while dealing reasonable damage and having reasonable range.
I mean, that's basically T-Hawk in 4.
Yeah, that's true. At the end, T-Hawk by the end had that.
Because the light punch one, he just left you close and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of how it always was, but they...
Not for Geef.
For Geef, it's never been that way, because the light SPD was the far range one, so they wanted to put you far away. But then the fierce one, if you make it the damage and put him close, it's...
I mean, like up close as Geef until this game, you always just did bear grab.
Right.
You just always did 360 kick because it was better.
Yeah.
So anyway, Geef, for sure, you have to revert the changes, the nerfs, because those are just stupid.
The jab nerfs.
Bad ideas.
It's all Itazan's fault, dude. It's 100% Itazan's fault. So Nemo paid somebody.
Snake Eyes won CEO that year.
Yeah, I remember.
2.
Yeah.
It's not like Geef was too good. He was just like a fine, viable character.
But see, again, the biggest problem with him was that he would do the robbery victories once he knocked you down with fierce SPDs and EX SPDs, and so it felt like he was, this character's cheap, broken, blah, 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 blah.
He's not the only character.
Yeah, they all do that, right? I mean, that's basically what Laura is, right? But, it just feels worse when it's Zangief to people for some reason. Again,
a lot
of the things that I talk about is very psychological. Just people have this weird psychological problems, and I'd like to preserve a character while appealing to these psychological frustrations. So, okay, Vega.
So, the problem for Vega, I feel, is that they just made him better, but it's Zeku. Like, he's the character Zeku's the character I always wanted SF5 Vega to be. As soon as I found out that he was a stance character, I always thought, man, it'd be super sick if Claw version was like the ranged version, and the Clawless was like the pressure version, and they keep mixing that up. Like, they keep muddling that. Now Claw Crouching Fierce is like a big plus button. You like using it. Why?
Right.
Like, it's very confusing to me. And then they came out with Zeku, who is basically what I want to see. Obviously the zoner, obviously the pressure character. Both of them are better than anything Vega does.
And you can switch a lot.
And you can switch all the time.
Right.
So I just don't really know what to do about Vega to make him unique, because it's too late for that. But that said, I would really like to make him at least better.
Right.
in doing what he does. So I think it'd be cool if there were different, more specialized versions of the different moves. So roll. First of all, roll needs to leave you closer, in general, which was a very dumb nerf that it moved him far away. So I'd like it for light kick roll in clawless, maybe to leave him right up close to you, and maybe he's like +1 or 2, right? So now, you got to worry about it.
Yeah.
Or in claw mode, maybe he knocks you down, and now he goes back to zoning you out. Like, I want to see more differentiation in that kind of way. I want to see a V reversal that in clawless can be the backflip, like he's just kind of it's not great. But the defensive one, the claw mode, is maybe like a flip kick.
Actual hit, right?
Like the actual
the
Scarlet Terror flip kick of
okay.
now he knocks you down.
Okay,
Like, I'd like to see things like that are better differentiated rather than what I think he is now, which is kind of a weird mix. They're not really sure whether to put a plus frame button on one or the other. Which one is his better stance is not clear in which situation many times.
Again,
Very weird
I feel
character.
like he is one of the premier examples of a character destroyed by the lack of proximity normals. Because the thing about it is, they want you to be able to combo with stance switches, right? So they want you to be able to do Fierce into stance switch and stuff like that. So, but in order to do that, Fierce has to have like the hit stun of days, basically, right? But then if it has the hit stun of days, they don't want to make it good range. So now they keep nerfing the range on standing.
He has
heavy
forward
punch.
Fierce, which doesn't need to be -12 or 13,
but
whatever it is.
The thing is, they want to make that the super long poke, and again, because you don't have proximity normals, you're limited to stubby normals and medium normals. That's all Street Fighter V is.
He has stand strong, he has stand medium.
Towards heavy punch is the exceptionally ranged moves, and
Yeah.
every one of them in this game is like -19,000 in this game.
It just
like
doesn't
bulk.
need to be like that.
Right,
Like,
exactly. They don't
Yeah.
need to. But if you don't make them that way, then they're too powerful because nobody else has normals that can compete with that because they have all these stupid stubby normal. You don't have a good.
There should be a ranged character. I mean, that sounds fine. Like, I want Vega to be ranged
right,
in Claw.
but like it might be too good if it's too fast. That's just the problem. It's like you can tell the way they're designing the game. They don't want to make the super long range normals too good because they're scared because everybody's normals are so goddamn stubby in this game. I really just feel like if you just added some proximity normals, you get that variety back, and you'd be able to have the close range Fierce that causes hit stun for days, so that I can combo and do these cool entire things and have all these different abilities. I just feel like Cammy, she could have an interesting stand strong. She can't because you need a close up button. Akuma could have an interesting standing medium kick. She can't because he's got to have a good close up button.
I mean, I don't want to lose the control that comes with how buttons are if there's no proximity normals.
I mean, the funny thing...
I'm cool with having back and forward buttons, but proximity I think is not great.
Because the thing about it is proximity normals were never really that big of a problem in Third Strike. They were never really that big of a problem in Super Turbo.
I don't think it's a huge problem. I would rather not give up the control. It's like playing old Dalsum or new Dalsum. Like, it's...
Well, Dalsum is a different story. Dalsum is a very different
it's like
story.
the most extreme version of it,
Right.
but it's... I would rather have the control. That's all.
Right. Yeah. No, because like I said, I've talked about it before. It's just like, if you design it right with the right ranges, you will have that full control. There was never any point in time in ST that I felt like, man, I really wish I had access to this version instead of that version. Never felt that way in that game. Hyper Fighting, same thing. I've never felt like I needed the far away move when I was close up or the close up move when I was far away, except Dalsum. Dalsum's like the only one.
I feel like Guile suffers from that. Isn't his close strong should be the far strong, this guy? But in general, it's not... I don't think that it makes for an unplayable situation. I would just, as the player, it frustrates me that there are things that I can't control, and I would rather have...
that's kind of like...
more control.
that's like the BlazBlue Cross Tag battle problem, right? All your buttons are hidden in chains. Dragon Ball, same thing. All your buttons are hidden in chains. But it works out for
the fact that
games.
it's like more explicitly... It doesn't feel as annoying because it's more explicitly hidden. Like, it's definitely not there for me. I know that. Whereas for proximity, there are situations where I'm like, man, I would like to be able to do this button here, that button there. I don't think this is like a big deal. I just would rather have full control.
Yeah, I don't see it. I actually think there's less control without proximity normals. That's the thing. I just feel like you have less options. you have a less variety of footsie normals.
You just put those things on back and forward, though, right?
Because the problem with that then is that you're nerfing charge characters. Because Chun-Li, for example, or someone like wants to do something like I want to do towards Fierce, but keep a scissor kick charge, and I can't do that anymore.
Right. I mean, it's like you have to balance character around.
And then not only that, but having the control doesn't solve the problem of having close-up normals available in footsies, a.k.a. Ryu and Akuma back heavy kick in Alpha 3 and Sakura back heavy punch in Alpha 3, which were buttons that were way too good because you could use them in Vism at any point in time. The problem is that close-up moves are designed, they have to be broken because they're designed for close range. They have to be fast, they have to be pretty plus, otherwise they're really useless. But then if you give them that, and you take away an available far-range move by replacing it by having a Akuma knee, for example, you got to make the knee hit decently far because you got to have more buttons to be able to use in footsies. So now this knee ends up being too good, like Laura's knee, which they had to nerf, and now it's not very good. You see, like it went from being good move to like not very good at all. And so you can solve that problem by just giving them a normal close-up move and have it be really good and then just not be available at the long range. You know what I mean? That's why you can't design these moves so that close-up moves are fair in footsies. That's just how I feel about it. Abigail Stand Strong, same problem. You can block 7 of these in a row and you can't do anything about it. And he can't push you away because then he doesn't have a combo button anymore, right? He's got to have his combo link button so it doesn't push you away. But he can't, that's the problem with it. It's conflicting. Like I said, every game that started with no proximity normals in Street Fighter V eventually added proximity normals. Because I just feel like that's a necessary thing. And I think Vega is a big exemplary example of that because he really needs to have that dynamic ability. He's missing so many pokes that he could have to make him a better defensive character.
I don't think he needs to be missing those things. I think you just need to better differentiate the zoning option versus the up-close variation, right?
Yeah.
His clawless stance doesn't need to have range tools.
Right. Yeah. No. Right.
For him, I think that's.
But
I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that any of this is a problem. But to the extent that it is, Vega is a character with stances that I think can get around it really well.
Right.
They just haven't designed him in that way. So I'd like to see changes that are made to better differentiate clawless to be the up close one.
I mean,
claw
like
to
I
be
said,
the range.
my biggest problem is that I feel like Vega is hamstrung by the fact that they're scared to give him long range move because everybody has stubby normals. And I feel like everybody has stubby normals because nobody has proximity normals. I just think it's like this problem creates this problem creates this problem creates this problem kind of thing. So
I don't see any evidence for that.
That's how it feels to me because there's no reason why Ken's crouching medium kick should have the sad range that it does. Like there's just but the only reason why is because the heavies don't have a lot of range. And the heavies can't have a lot of range because if the heavies have a lot of range plus the priority system, they would dominate all the close-up moves that you can be used in footsies, right? And so you can't make them too far range because then Akuma's standing medium kick is useless and you're missing a footsie button. So they shortened the range of every button so that you end up with stubby Fighter 5.
Well, I don't think they needed to be like that. I don't think there's anything about not having proximity normals that requires that kind of situation. Maybe they designed the game not well, but that's... Doesn't seem like an inherent issue to me.
Okay. Well.
Anyway, we got like 15 minutes left. So for Vega, these are all the changes I want to see from him. It's very boiled down because in each case, I think there's more to say about him.
Right.
But in general, I would really like it so that there's a more clearly distinct zoning and pressure.
The other
stances.
thing I would do to Vega, I'd give him a 1-bar V trigger.
Oh, you mentioned this before. I think that is kind of cool.
I just want the rose to be a 1-bar V trigger. I just want to just toss roses. Maybe figure out a way to make it so that tossing a rose into super doesn't do as much damage or something like that. Or just let it do damage. Maybe just let it do damage. And then make his V reversal really good so that way he has... maybe make his V reversal actually just completely invincible, that there's no way to punish his V reversal. Because it can't hit you anyway. And he doesn't get him out of the corner.
The back one, yeah.
Yeah, his flip. So just make it so he has a 1-bar V-trigger, and now he has to think about saving it for Rose or just getting out of pressure situations or something like that. I think a 1-bar V-trigger would actually be kind of sick. So he could just...
It'd be a cool variation.
He could toss 4 roses in one round. You know what I mean? Make his V-skill a little better so he can build the meter. So he could
I feel like you'd have to make V-skill worse, right? So that you wouldn't have constant V-meter?
Constant roses would be fun, though.
Well,
I think it'd be cool. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else?
Alex.
I don't know what to do with Alex.
I actually don't know what to do with Alex.
Dude, dude, that's funny because that's literally I have no.
So like some things, it'd be nice if down strong was a little better, down medium kick was a little bit better. It would be nice if the intention is to have there be a mix-up between stomp and head crush for them to look more closely, more like each other.
Can you tell the difference?
Sure.
Oh, I can barely tell the difference.
Oh, there's a flip on one.
Are you serious?
There's even and for the head crush, as he's coming down, he's going slowly.
Never even
Oh yeah.
Holy crap! Okay.
So that's, but like, I don't know. The unfortunate thing for Alex, I feel like all these characters are like this down here at the bottom, where they're the worst version of whatever it is, and Alex is just like a not good regular semi grappler. Like he's just not as good as Mika and Laura and Abigail and whatever else. I'm not sure how you differentiate them without like really redesigning the character.
Dude, Alex would be one of the characters that I would want to change.
Yeah, that
most.
makes sense. Yeah.
He's one of the characters I would maybe make the stomp cross up, actually. I don't know.
That actually would be cool.
Right?
Yeah, why not?
You know. But again, Nico asks the exact question that I've thought since Alex came out, is what is he supposed to be?
Yeah.
He feels
That's
the
the question.
sloppiest character, like
Yeah.
the one that was like, quick, he's our first DLC. Shoot, release him. And they had no real theme for him. He's the most like themeless character.
I highly agree.
Yeah,
If any character in the roster were to be deleted, for me, it's him. As much as I think Sakura is super ugly, and is also not very distinct herself, boy, Alex is just could do without him.
Right.
And it's not to say that I don't like Alex as the character. I really like Alex as the character. He's a very cool, fun character, very well designed in Third Strike.
Well, Hi-Fi asks a great question. What was his theme in Third Strike?
Well, and he was what he does in, or what Mika does maybe in this game, which is that he has really fast approach, really fast low jump, a really fast dash, decent hit confirms, and decent grab. Like that's he did a lot of damage at once. He's basically Mika with some different moves, but like with a very similar idea in terms of what you're trying to do. But
it's true. He did basically get replaced by Mika.
For sure. I mean, even before they announced any DLC, I remember talking with people about which characters would you like to see. Somebody brought up Alex, and I remember us having a conversation then being like, I don't know what he would do. There's already Mika, there's already Laura, there's already Zangief. Like what's he gonna do?
Maybe give him a better V skill than he has. I don't know.
I really don't know. It'd be cool if the V skill charge up was a little bit more valuable. Right now it's basically after stun. Right, that's it.
I mean, maybe just give him. I mean, why does Abigail get the parry V skill?
I don't know.
Abigail's not even from Street Fighter 3, right? Like maybe just give Alex a parry V skill.
I like the hard hit. I think it's a cool idea, but you just never see it because it takes so long to charge up that it's only after stun.
Hard hit could be down 3K.
I actually do see it. As a Zangief player, I do see it. I've been playing Zangief lately. And Alex basically gets to do that because I'm Zangief. But other than
to do what?
Charge up the V skill.
Oh yeah.
But most characters can prevent that pretty easily.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Right. Okay.
So I think the biggest problem with Alex is never really clear what he was going to do. There are already characters who pressure like how I think he would like to. There are already characters who have better footsies than he almost can.
Have they ever changed characters to the extent where a grappler became a fireball character or something else is extreme? No, but the player themselves actually did that, which they turned Sentinel from a zoning slow character into the fastest rushdown character in the world. So he was definitely not supposed to be that way. So.
Well, they have changed some characters pretty substantially in Street Fighter V. Like Vega is very, very different.
Oh yeah.
Than in previous iterations.
I think he might be asking within the game, maybe within the series, have they ever changed?
Okay, yeah. No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even 8-way dash. Sentinel doesn't have 8-way dash. It's fly on fly. Yeah. That's just what it was. So, which was kind of a glitch all in itself.
Right.
So, who was the last?
I don't know. It's a tough situation for Alex. Then Falk.
God dang it.
Falk. I don't think Falk is that far away. I struggle to think that she's really like in both these cases. I feel like there's actually a top 4 and a bottom 4, and then there's like who's 5. I'm not really sure.
Right.
And for Falk, that's where I would put her in like not clearly the worst. She's definitely not like a Geef kind of Ryu situation, but she does need to get better, I think. And I'd like to see her be better in a zoner sense. I'd like to see the low shot like be a low. I would like to see that recover in time to block anything that comes from her like in the face.
Right, yeah.
So she's down and then she's standing up and blocking already. Like I don't want there to be a punishable situation there. If you hit her, I think it should be while she's on the ground. I'd like for the mid-range fireball to be a little bit further range. Doesn't need to be a lot, but like just a little bit. I don't know that I would make many other big changes. I feel like that, like maybe it doesn't need to be the case that the low shot takes an entire second, which it does.
Right, to get up again and block.
Yeah,
right.
before, like that's too much.
New critical art animation, 100%. New standing jab animation, new standing heavy punch animation.
Dude, obviously her animations are bad, obviously. But, you know, we can't change that.
I would actually make the standing gunshot 0 on block at point blank. Because then standing medium kick, gunshot, standing medium kick, gunshot would just be super annoying. But it's a charge thing, right? Yeah. So it's kind of this weird sacrifice kind of thing. I like the concept of the mid-range zoner, and I hate the fact that if I do standing medium kick into gunshot, I'm negative in that situation. So just make it 0. So she's really powerful at that range with this weird zoning kind of mid-range zoning game. Even just raw shot would be really kind of scary to deal with. So she would zone you. You would be tempted to try to jump over that thing, but you know it's not like I'm full screen trying to keep you away kind of thing. It's actually zoning you in the mid screen. I would like to see that. Maybe make her jumping shot a little bit better as well. I don't think her jumping shot is very good.
Yeah.
You know what? I would make the prone shot better too. I would just make all those moves better.
Yeah.
The actual shots, like you feel like that they were scared to make it good.
100%.
It feels like Fang Part 2. Like it really feels like Fang was like they wanted to make it so he could cancel moves into moves. Because he shoots 2 balls, all of his moves do 2 hits. So of course he can chain all of his moves because he's obsessed with the number 2. Yep. But they just never committed to it because they were scared it was too good.
Yep. I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
I feel like she could be like a cool counter to some characters. Like I could imagine her zoning Guile better than Guile can zone her, right? If her low shot actually recovered well.
Too good, yeah, exactly.
She isn't made like that.
Eli is correct as well. V Trigger 2 just needs to be an activation.
It's weird, right?
I don't understand. Like it's the only one, like one of the only ones that
there's not many.
Yeah, that has this weird kind of thing to it. So. Yeah.
I think that's about it. Again, in no case I think either of us want major
nerfs
changes
to the big characters.
Well, look, these characters need buffs. I don't want like tremendous buffs. I want targeted buffs, just a few things, nothing major. Well, some characters major, but you know what I mean. Like I don't want a redesign. Well, maybe with Vega with Alex I want a redesign. What I'm trying to say is I wouldn't intend to make the game drastically different.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what Alex does. Nobody knows.
Look,
Alex players don't know what Alex does. It's too bad. It really is, because I think the character is so cool as a character. But man, he looks bad, and man, nobody knows what he does.
Yeah, at least rotate his legs back the correct direction. I know it's so hard for them to convince them to do cosmetic changes. But
that ship has sailed. Birdie's chain will always go through him on the select screen.
Same thing with Ken's hair and Rashid's, the thing on the back of his head.
When 2 Abigail players play against each other and they have the skin on with the like giant wheel here, you can't see either character. Serious. I mean, is not there. It's weird. Abigail is fine. I wouldn't make any big changes to him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was 5-5 matchup. I told you we could talk about this for 9 hours.
When Nikali wins a round, he holds your head up, and it's Abigail. You can't see Nikali.
Yeah. Look, we wanted to mention that the Dragon Ball Fighters patch is coming out. King of Fighters 14 patch is coming out. Honestly, we don't have any analysis.
I don't have anything to say.
All I can say is that I know that Bardock is getting nerfed because he's not going to have the options after his level 3 anymore.
Yeah, what exactly that will look like is not clear, but there's a nerf to him. I don't know.
It's interesting because, like I said, Kazunoko's team wasn't really nerfed, right?
I heard that you can't call an assist if you can't also Z-change at that time.
Oh, so
and that might be there's no like Dragon Punch assist. So that might actually impact Kazunoko.
It's supposed to come out tomorrow, I believe. So that might be what the path. If you're downloading an update, that just might be getting ready for it or something like that. So, but yeah, I mean.
Guard cancel was buffed to be. No, wasn't it something else that turned out that was a mistranslation? Because I had read too that guard cancel originally would be the same on block as super dash, but I think I heard that was actually not true.
Oh, okay.
I'm no authority on
that. I mean, look, Angron, yes, I mentioned that I would want some system changes for DBFZ, but I don't know what I would want to do, but I'd want to do something. Because right now, it's literally vanilla Marvel 3. It's vanilla Marvel 3, because it was like, hit you, burst, X Factor or sparking, and then your character dies. Like,
I could only hope, dude. I'd be so happy if people died faster in that game.
Well, okay,
be great.
I want people to die fast, so...
Just as a viewer, I'm not playing it. As a viewer, man,
I don't want characters to die instantly in one combo like that. I want sparking not to recover health while you're getting hit. Because that's the problem right there.
That sure is dumb.
That is the problem, because when you're hitting, it's the Phoenix healing thing, which was funny when it was with Phoenix.
Yeah, and you had to get to a certain...
Right.
There were conditions for that, right?
Yeah. But the fact that you're getting your life back while they're comboing you, that's the ridiculous part. Like, that should stop it. Because, honestly, the reason why they take so long to die is because people get so much life back through the sparking.
Not just sparking, but also that there's just a lot of things that only deal or mostly deal blue life.
Oh, yeah, like the level 3s and
raw
stuff
level
like
3,
that.
right?
Yeah,
so, I'm not going to say I think the game should be changed in any particular way, because I just don't know. But as a viewer, sure would like it if things went a little faster. It needs to go faster,
because it is definitely by far the longest game right now. If we can speed it up a little bit.
In my view, it's the most boring modern fighting game. Most boring popular modern fighting game.
Yeah.
I can understand why people like it. I see some of the things that people like. But man, it just takes forever, and I feel it's very repetitive. So.
Yeah, honestly, it just needs. Like I said,
it's got a good base in there.
I don't want to see touch of deaths as much as sparking mechanic just needs to be nerfed. That's just what it comes down to. I think sparking is too powerful. It is almost better than vanilla Marvel 3 X Factor, which was already super good as it was, right? So remember, X Factor was nerfed between the two versions, shockingly enough.
Yeah, it was. Well, in some ways anyway. You could X Factor in the air in Ultimate.
That's right. I forgot about that.
There were guaranteed situations in vanilla that in Ultimate you could get out of.
Right. Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that change. You're right.
I don't want to come across as saying I think Dragon Ball sucks. That is definitely not my position. I think it's one of those games that I recognize as being good and fun to play for people who like how it is.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any like objective thing wrong with it. But for me, subjectively, I find that it is too much comprised of too much of the same stuff over and over, and that it takes a long time for anything to actually result. Like, it's this weird mix of, like, very fast decision-making in mix-ups up close, and then, at the same time, things are taking forever. Yeah. Like, it's a weird juxtaposition. I don't know.
Yeah. And like I said, I feel like that a lot of that is also... Because, like, one of the reasons why the touch of deaths happens was because you just also gain way too much meter during sparking. Like, everything about sparking... Nerf the meter game, nerf the health recovery, just everything about it. Like, if you could nerf sparking a little bit, like, that's probably the thing that I would change the most, to be honest.
Okay, everybody has a game that they know is not for them, that they don't think is a bad game, but is, like, not their favorite. Everybody's got that. For me, I think it's this game. Yeah. It's too bad because it's gorgeous, and I think there's a good base in there somewhere, but it's not for me. I like Crush Counters more than I like Dragon Ball. That is a true story.
Dragon Rush probably does need to be nerfed. Oh, sorry. Super Dash needs to be nerfed a little bit. So.
I love Injustice. That is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
that's true.
Oh man. Okay. I guess we're not going to get to any FGC news. Not that there's really much going on.
The only thing that I thought would be good to mention is that iFix Machine is closing in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That really sucks. I mean, hey, by the way, Capcom Connect's already on. Go check it out. But before we get out of here, yeah, very unfortunate to hear that iFix Machine is closing. It was a Brooklyn arcade that was actually very close to NLBC to Next Level.
Okay.
Really just like literally a few blocks away. I don't know the reasons for them closing down because when Arturo said that it was closing on Twitter, he said that he didn't want to discuss in public what the reasons were. I hope it's nothing that's too bad, but I just don't know what it is. I mean, I don't want to characterize it as being in a particular way. I just don't know.
Okay.
So in any case, it's a bummer for sure. They had some cabs there. They had some weekly events there. They had been there for some years. Unfortunate, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing that I probably wanted to mention just a little bit, obviously Smash Ultimate's coming out soon. There's a lot of leaks for that, and I guess some people have early copies or something. So.
Yeah. So somebody got the game and basically uploaded it, and now if you have a cracked Switch, you can play it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, if you're one of those pirate types.
Gotcha,
you know what I think about those people.
We discussed it before. We discussed it after we talked about Red Bull biscuits. So that's
what up?
The view botting thing.
Oh, we did mention it.
Yeah,
we talked about
that
last
a little
week.
bit. So yeah, we already talked about it. So. But yep. Nothing else in terms of FGC news that I can think of. Just.
What do you think about that crack pie?
I haven't had any yet because I don't have a fork. I haven't been able to get a fork because I'm tethered right now.
Why don't you try the crack pie? Yeah, go for it. I'm just going to leave it here, so it's all you.
Oh my god.
Pretty good, huh? Pretty good, huh?
Wow. You can see why it's called crack pie.
Yeah. We basically had to get that out of our house because it's dangerous.
Ooh.
I saw Ralph Breaks the Internet, which I thought was called Ralph Wrecks the Internet, and I can't imagine why it's not.
So there was a scene in one of the trailers where they referenced that.
Okay.
That wasn't actually in the movie.
Right.
But of course they referenced that too.
Right. Yeah.
But like literally, there's a scene where it's like clearly it should have been Ralph Wrecks the Internet instead of Breaks the Internet. But that would make much more like that was in one of the trailers. So they.
But why did they call it Ralph Breaks the Internet? It's not so that they could make that joke.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Somebody in marketing, like 2 years later after they came up with that name, was like, "Hold on, it should be this. Let's make a commercial out of it." Like it's not. That wasn't the reason. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was a good movie.
It was a good movie. Surprising topic that it tackles that I was not expecting it to.
When I walked out of there, I was like, man, movies today teach way better lessons than movies when we were kids.
Disney's definitely it's a much more Pixar-like movie, but still in the same vein as like Zootopia. It has some really important messages in there, so that's kind of interesting. I don't want to talk about the topic because it kind of spoils some stuff in there. But
for sure.
One thing I will mention that some people have pointed out is there's no villain in the movie.
Well,
kind of, right.
Let that be mysterious to you, and go watch the movie because I recommend it.
Because Rex did you see my bad joke?
Yeah.
You did?
I did.
Do you want me to repeat it, or should I not repeat it?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like there actually was a little bit of a spoiler.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's not significant.
Right, yeah. Okay, never mind. I won't say
it was good, though. I liked it.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Check out the Tekken World Tour this weekend. I imagine it'll be on twitch.tv/Tekken.
Yes, And obviously, since it's in Amsterdam, it's going to be at odd time zones. Again, go to AceKingOffSuit so you can get the schedules and all the proper time zones so you know when to watch it. And I was there live in the San Francisco one last year. Super awesome event. Super fun. So I'm expecting this one to be really, really good as well. So.
Very cool. As far as KOF goes, I heard there was a patch, but I didn't see that there was any information about what that patch contained.
Okay.
I don't know much about the game. I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter V lately.
I want to play more Soul Calibur.
It's basically been... So after Injustice... Before Injustice Pro Series Finals, I was playing only Injustice to make sure that I was up on it. Mm-hmm. Now...
When is DreamHack India? Is that coming out soon?
DreamHack Winter happens this weekend, so probably not now.
Okay. Hey, shoutouts Breezy Die. Woo!
So now I'm playing Street Fighter only to make sure that I'm up on it for Capcom Cup.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But man, I'm itching to play Soul Calibur. Like I like playing SF5. It's not like a chore to me, but it's... Man, I like Soul Calibur so much. It's so
I've
fun.
been obsessed with Tetris, obviously.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm the #1 U.S. ranked player.
Nice softball.
Number 8 in the world.
Pretty
and
cool.
it's been that way for almost a week now, so there you go.
Yeah.
#1 U.S. player. So the previous
Pretty
#1
great.
guy saw that and was like, I'll get you. And
Okay.
He hasn't yet.
He didn't? Ooh, keep running.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to keep trying, so. God, this thing's like falling apart all over the place.
1 penny is enough to make us go woo.
Woo!
Oh, I already did it. That was enough.
Yeah,
I went
I know.
woo.
Go for it, Croton. Go for it, dude. Try your best, man. I dare you to.
All
Anyways,
right,
I
well-
want to play some Soul Calibur.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's bird ourselves out of here.
Bird.
It's probably actually better if I do the one that's on YouTube instead of going over the microphone like this, but
Genius.
you know, maybe I should just do that from now on.
You
Anyways,
just download it. I'm sure you can find the little MP3.
that's true. Hey!
I hope everybody in the U.S. had a good Thanksgiving. Oh, woo!
Shout out Snutacon.
If you're not living in the U.S., congratulations. You lucked out.